Is Trinity Catholic gobbling up a playoff spot? And does Newberry have a ghost of a chance at the playoffs? These haunting questions and more will be answered tonight as we make our curtain call for the IBEW Local 1205 Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week right here on My 11. I was working in the lab late one night, and my eyes beheld an eerie sight. It was the All-American, Shannon Snell. Happy Halloween, buddy.
Happy Halloween, buddy. It is Fright Night. Great game. Last one of the season. Curtain call. Can't wait to see what goes down tonight.
It is a monster mashup for this contest tonight in week number 10, and it's time now to check out Chef Shannon's recipe for success, courtesy of Sonny's Barbecue. They are barbecue. What are you cooking up today on NBC?
So let's talk about Newberry, right? Get over the hump, right? They've had a lot of close losses this season. Played a really tough schedule. Tonight is a shot at redemption. Listen, you win and you may be into the playoffs. You have to win this game tonight, get over that hump, and let them eat. We're talking about the offensive line. They got to run the ball tonight. You got to run it and run it well, especially with one of the playmakers we're going to talk about here tonight to get through this game and come out with a win. For Trinity Catholic, you got a mixing bowl, okay? You got to be a running pass offense. That team cannot get one-dimensional. They run the ball well. They pass it well. They got to do both against a really good Newberry defense and win the season, right? They're 4-4 in the season. They're headed to the playoffs, right? But they're 4-4 in the season. One win puts them over that 500 mark and going into the playoffs with some momentum.
Did you like that today on NBC? He was on the Today Show last week making all sorts of wonderful dishes for the people in that show. Now, speaking of wonderful dishes, there's some guys that can serve it up on both of these teams tonight. Who are the players to watch for?
Yeah, Newberry is Caleb Woods. It's all Caleb Woods. It's nothing but Caleb Woods. One of the best backs in North Central Florida. We've got to see him senior night. He's a senior tonight. He's got to go off like a bomb. And for TC, you got number 29, Wyatt Langford. He's a fullback, plays a little bit of running back. Really good middle linebacker, so watch out for that young man because he can get after it.
So with that being said, the question I have to ask you is, are you ready for some football?
You know it, Randy.
Are you ready for some football? Is it a trick or is it a treat? Trinity Catholic is in. Can Newberry get in? We'll find out in a couple of hours right here in one place. It is the IBEW Local 1205 Friday Night Rivals presented by Radiant Credit Union in one place right here on My 11. It's time now for the Radiant Credit Union coin toss. Define your financial future. And Shannon, it looks like Trinity Catholic won the toss and deferred, and Newberry will receive going from left to right to start this contest.
Yeah, it's important to see this Newberry offense, what they do. And, you know, Randy, last time we saw them, they were a little sluggish on offense. You know, they had, gotten behind. We were playing against Hawthorne. That's easy to say, but gotten behind, and, they hadn't had a lot of stuff behind that. But, hey, that's fine. That's okay. Here we are. Now here's a Newberry team that's been revitalized a little bit and had some close games, had a couple losses. But I can't tell you, Randy, this schedule for them has been enormously tough. If they win this tonight, have a good shot at the playoffs. It should be a cakewalk walking into the playoffs with the schedule they played this season.
Yeah, Trinity Catholic is in, and for Newberry, they'll find out Thursday at noon when they release the rankings as to whether they've made the playoffs. But the first step is tonight. They've got to get the win. Kicking off tonight for the Celtics will be Andrew Leonard, kind of Mr. Everything, a wide receiver guy, plays on defense. He's the punter, he's the place kicker, and ironically, early on, all he wanted to do was punt. Then he went to a punting camp at Wake Forest, and they said, you have an incredible leg. You need to go ahead and do more than just punting. So he's the kicker, and they found out he's pretty good as a wide receiver, can play tight end. Oh, yeah, on that defensive line as well.
Good Lord. The more you can do, the better it is. I guess he said, I'm just going to be a Swiss Army knife. So nice job by him to be able to make himself a valuable part of this football team. But he's going to need to be pretty valuable, especially in the kicking game tonight against a really good Newberry team.
It is time now for the Sky Frog Tree Service kickoff. Sky Frog, stay motivated. His average kickoff goes to the 5-yard line. He's got 10 touchbacks so far this season, and we're underway in week number 10. And this kick will be returned starting from the 7-yard line for the Panthers. And right the near side, and look at this return. A nice one all the way down the sidelines. That's Hayden Moore.
He's out. He's gone.
And Hayden Moore is going to take it the distance just like that. 14 seconds into this contest. I don't see any flags on the field, and just like that, it is 6-0 in this contest with a Radiant Credit Union touchdown right off the bat.
This is what they do. Listen, as many years as we've been covering Newberry football. These guys make special plays in the special teams, and you can call them game changers, you can call them special teams, you call them whatever the hell you want to call them. That is a big play, and that's exactly what Newberry needed right out of the gate.
And just like that, on the board to make it 6-0 extra point time. So I think that time they would have liked to have seen touchback number 11 if they were Trinity Catholic. And it's extra point time now for Caden Bush on the campaign. 16 of 21 for number 87 on extra points. The snap, the kick is up. And the kick is a little low and off to the left, so we stay at 6-0 in this contest. And we've barely sat down, and Shannon, we've got 6 points on the board.
Yeah, we do. And I guess it's a great thing if you get the ball if you're Newberry. And that's one guy we hadn't talked about, number 4, Hayden Moore. Last time we saw him, they were looking to get the ball in his hands. They were looking to get him on some gadget plays, and Hawthorne did a really great job defending that young man. But you can see, Randy, when he gets the ball in his hands, nothing but good things happen. And that speed and the size and the ability to cut on a dime, there's a lot of colleges that are going off after that young man, and for good reason.
Well, Minnesota's got him, and they're so happy, too. And there's a guy, 22 catches, 201 yards on the campaign, a touchdown, a long of 38, who likes science. He lost some time to injuries this year, injured against Vanguard. He missed the Keystone and the Palatka game as well, too. But remember last year in week 2 against Hawthorne, he went out with a concussion. So trying to get him healthy has been a key, and he has been. And he takes it the distance just like that. So if you were Trinity Catholic right now and you're the Celtics, you have to be a little shell-shocked, I would think.
You do. I mean, listen, we're only, 17 seconds into the football game, so there's a lot of game left to be played, right? There's a lot that's going to happen. We haven't really gotten to see how each team is going to defend each other. I mean, the one thing you can learn if you're Trinity Catholic is don't kick to Hayden Moore, right? So that's the rule number 1, so you understand that. But now the assignment is you got to respond, in turn, and put some points up on the board.
Another ribbon, another Sky Front kickoff coming your way, this time from Caden Bush, who has also missed everything when it comes to the toes from punting and kicking. And he will boot that one, and we will have a return that's going to start from inside the 10. Could we repeat things? We'll find out across the 15 to the 20-yard line. Nice gap to the left side of the field, and the return's going to end there. The big number 7, that is Michael Neal. So now it'll be 1st and 10. We'll actually have a play from the line of scrimmage for the first time as we play 24 seconds in this contest.
And this is a good TC offense here, right? They like to run. They like to throw the ball around. You're going to see a lot from, the guys that we mentioned earlier in the broadcast. Wyatt Lucas, who's a really good running back. He's kind of like a bull, as you like to describe him, Randy. He's a bull in a china cabinet. So you're going to see a lot of him, low to the ground, pads low, and likes to get those tough yards.
He's a Mike Allstott type if you want to compare him to somebody else, too. Played for Purdue and also for the Buccaneers as well, too. Schofield on first down play, going to hand it off. Nothing to the right, taken to the left, and Lucas is going to bounce and bounce. It's kind of like Don Nottingham, too. Remember, he had that low center of gravity as well, too. He's going to get a nice gain on the play out to around the 34-yard line.
He's only 5'9", maybe almost about 200 pounds, but he runs behind those pads, and when he's low to that ground, it's really hard to get him on that ground. So if you're Newberry, you're going to have to gang tackle this young man because he gets those extra yards after carry.
There's your offense for Trinity Catholic in this contest. And again, the quarterback doing a great job this season for them is Carter Schofield. They'll keep it on the ground and just carry defenders across the 35-yard line, up to the 38, maybe the 39-yard line. And Wyatt Lucas now has 105 carries on the campaign, good for 525 yards. At a 5-yard average, he's got 4 touchdowns and a long of 54.
Yeah, and he had He had 150 yards against Union County, 2 touchdowns. So he's a really tough cookie to defend. If you're looking at this Newberry defense, you see here on the screen, look at number 17, Jameer Williams, really good player. Comes off the edge hard and defends the run really well.
On 3rd down and a couple, there is nothing there. Brought down right at the 36-yard line. Great pursuit by that defense. One of those guys leading the charge is Luke Bennett, big number 44 on your screen. Does a great job of sniffing that out. Got through the block. He's got 10 solos, 33 assists on the season, and the 6'2 senior makes the hit, sets up a 4th down scenario.
Run blitz right there, came off the edge, and you saw number 44 right there. Luke Bennett come up the middle and really just meet Lucas in the hole and really did a good job bringing him to the ground.
So a punting situation just like that now for Trinity Catholic. There's Andrew Leonard back there, averaging 37.4 yards. A punt is long on the campaign is 55 yards. Good snap. Gets it off. And return going to start from the 23-yard line. Back the other way on the return, big number 15, and that is DeAndre Williams. And Williams is going to get up to right around the 32-yard line, and that's where Newberry was actually going to start their first drive on the field after getting a kick return for the only tally so far in this contest. So you take a look at that offense for Newberry. They are led by the coach's son, Kobe Johnson, the son of head coach Ed Johnson, who, by the way, Kobe had a birthday on Wednesday, likes school and criminal justice, and he's 57 of 98 passing, 705 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. Another guy that was injured for a couple of games this season, Shannon.
Yeah, he was injured. He's, saw a bunch of injuries on this offense. Would have loved to see him full strength, but, Kobe Johnson's going to have to be the guy. He's going to have to let it fly a little bit. I'm suspecting that Caleb Woods is going to get a lot of attention. We got to see Kobe Johnson throw it around because I think he's going to be a big reason why Newberry can win this game tonight.
Cade Moore's the big gun. Johnson is going to keep it himself, get it across the 30-yard line, and Kobe gets what he can, exits stage left and around the 38, perhaps the 39-yard line. So nice gain on first down. Bubba Innes is the offensive coordinator for Newberry in his 3rd year with the school. An East Side grad, by the way, a fire lieutenant as we celebrated National Responders Week this past week. And there's that offense. And again, we touched on a couple of those guys. Caleb Woods in the backfield, too. And watch up front, too, for guys like Elijah Scott, too. And, of course, Ja'Kai Dawson, who's been there forever. He started all 4 years, every single game.
Yeah, you talk about that offensive line. They're a big reason why this running game goes the way it does. They got to have a really big night tonight. Be great at the point of attack and open up some holes for Caleb Johnson.
They readjust Woods to the other side of Johnson. Second down, maybe about 4 for a first down. Caleb's got it. He's got a gap. He'll make the most of it across midfield. The acceleration, and down the sidelines he goes on a big first down on a big gainer for Caleb Woods on carry number 98 for him on the season.
Looks like he got a little bit of laundry on the field.
Yep, at the 48-yard line. And we got a holding call. So that holding call is going to negate the long run by Caleb Woods, the 4-year starter. So we'll move it back and let's see if they can try that one more time.
And we've seen that a couple times this season out of Newberry, just the holding bringing back penalties.
Some great guys to watch for on defense, too. You got Michael Neal in front who plays the weak side defensive end, and also strong linebackers, too. We've got another Rudy Yanni. Remember last year we had Luke who played for Trinity Catholic, and now it's his younger Jake. Jake is just a sophomore playing in the middle. On second down, they're showing blitz. Kobe Johnson going to readjust the offense, kind of triad to the top. And they're sending 2. And that pressure is going to force the running back to be knocked down and back. That time on the carry, it is Jamarcus Wimbley. And Wimbley has got 65 carries now in the year, but that time there's no place to go. As you can see, big number 68, Braden Hafer waiting for him to make the hit, the nose guard with 15 solos, 8 assists.
Yeah, nice job by Hafer, able to kind of shed the blocker, take the blocker with him to the ball carrier and bring him down to the ground. Excellent play by that nose tackle.
So the ball back to the 34-yard line. They need to get it up to the 42 for a first down. The third down, they need about 8 on the play.
And this is the territory that you got to see out of Newberry, that they got to be successful. 3rd down and medium or 3rd down and long. What can Kobe Johnson do here with that receiving corps?
Wimberly in the backfield. The quick pop, pass incomplete, overshoots the receiver at the 38-yard line. Intended on the play for big number 0, that's Zayden Wilcox, who they really like what they see from this kid as just a freshman.
Yeah, Wilcox plays that tight end position. You should have caught that, right? That tight end kind of wide receiver position. Should have caught that ball, went right through his hands. If you're, Johnson, you got to bring that ball down a little bit, throw a little bit more of a catchable ball. But that's going to define them here tonight on offense, Randy, is that what can they do on 3rd down? They struggled a little bit here over the course of the season of, converting 3rd downs and mediums. And we don't want to see that here tonight if Newberry wants to walk away with this win.
Bush to punt it. Leonard with a little pressure. Fair catch called for. And taken inside the 35-yard line. And that's where Trinity Catholic will start on their next drive after that catch is made on the play. So we'll bring it out to the 35-yard line, and we'll see what Schofield and company can do on offense in their second go-round. This is a guy, too, with a great size, too. And you look at him, 6'4", 185, and a senior quarterback, returning starter as well, too. Against P.K. Young, had a great game, 11 of 14 passing, 250 yards, 4 touchdowns. Also carried it twice for 50 yards and a touchdown as well.
Man, he just had a big old game, didn't he? And
it's a really Snell kind of game, isn't it?
It is. I mean, maybe on Madden, but not in real life. But that's what he's going to have to do to get past a real. And this is tougher competition Newberry is, right? He's going to have to be good on the ground, and he's going to have to be good in the air. He's going to have to make some timely decisions because this defense can fly around a little bit.
Bennett on the hit again, as this time it's Caden Bucks, who, big number 18, normally sees a lot of time at tight end. They move into the backfield there. He gets probably one on the play. We'll call it second down to 9 from him. Here's big number 44. Going to go with 2 to the top, 1 to the bottom. Backs offset in the backfield here on the second down play. And Schofield for the play action move, and pressure's on, pitching to both sides, and he is going nowhere. Got down for a loss on the play. Good pursuit by that defense. Jameer Williams, who you talked about earlier, leading the charge.
Yeah, he comes off the edge with reckless abandon. I mean, you watch this kid, and sometimes when it's passing downs and he can recognize that the quarterback has the ball, it's a beeline, and he's got good speed on the edge, which you love out of every edge rusher, but has the speed to get there and is able to bring Schofield to the ground.
Ball back to the 25-yard line. You need to get it all the way up to the 45 for a first down. Still kind of a chess match early in this contest. He had a big return, but offensively both teams kind of struggling.
Yeah, I mean, and that's exactly what happens, right? Those two teams just trying to feel each other out, trying to figure out, what's the best course of attack, and it's always going to be a rule of defense here.
Across the middle, pass is complete on the play. That's Kaler across midfield all the way to the 42-yard line. That time they went with a quad look near side, and the pass is complete, and making the catch is Noah Kaler for the 4th time this season. Good for 122 yards, also has a touchdown. It's another UF Health first down.
Yeah, just burn the middle of that zone right there, split right between the middle of the linebacker and the safety. Just able to get in there, sit down, catch the ball, and then turn it up for big yards.
And now rapidly Schofield to pass, and the pass is complete. And taken out of bounds around the 35-yard line. Catch is made that time on the play by Wyatt Lucas.
Yeah, this is what Schofield does when he starts to get hot, right? He's a guy that can throw on the run a little bit, as you saw right there. Can make good decisions under pressure, but once he starts to get hot, you got to figure out a way to get him off his spot. You got to figure out a way to get him out of that rhythm, and Newberry has to do that now before you start burning him up.
That is Lucas's 11th catch on the season. That's another first down. The ball inside that second down inside the 35-yard line. Schofield on the out pattern has his man. It's complete inside the 20, inside the 15-yard line, and now that will move the sticks on the play as the catch is made by Emilian Jenkins, who we will be calling Millie from now on, just so you know. And Millie Jenkins with a nice gainer, another Calamatras situation. But we're in the red zone. Calamatras so hot they build a fire station across the street.
Yeah, throwing really nice balls out there. Schofield, as you see, just a nice touch, and they're putting it in quad looks. They got 5 wide. They're just opening it up right now.
Flag on the play. Schofield gets away, and he's brought down inside the 10 around the 8-yard line, but we'll see if that one's coming back.
And this is the kind of offense that's very difficult to defend, Randy, just because you got a quarterback that's athletic, that can run around a little bit, yet he can dot you up on a dime. So got to be a little bit more cognizant if you're Newberry defense.
Yankee resting at the 16-yard line, and our referee Kevin Tiller says we're going to move it back with a hold. Kevin Tiller, by the way, next year will be in his 30th year of the M&Ms, ministry and marriage. Both celebrated next year. Umpire is P.J. Hope. One of his jobs is also as a pastor as well, too. The whistle, we got a timeout, I think, on the field. The water break at 5:55. 6-0 early in this one. Newberry on top. And we will take a break and remind you one more time, you are watching the IBEW Local 1205 Friday Night Rivals presented by Radiant Credit Union right here on My 11. Well, it looks like the squad from Trinity Catholic is going to try to see if they can find an answer as we have our new song that Shannon's going to sing tonight called Moon Over Newberry.
I don't think anybody wants to hear me sing, Randy. I got to be honest.
We
want people to
cook on TV for crying out
Yeah,
loud.
you can see me cook on TV, right? But if I'm singing, there's probably not going to be a lot of people watching us. So.
Well, perhaps in Halloween we'll call it howling. How's that?
There you go. Bang at the moon. That's
Randy Reimer alongside Warren Zevon. Glad to have you aboard. On a first down now after the penalty back at around 23-yard line. Schofield straight back to throw once it dumped underneath. A screen and great pursuit that time. They try to get it to Lucas, and waiting for him on to hit that time was Isaiah Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson able to play that. Listen, this is the rule if you're a defensive lineman, linebacker. If offensive linemen are letting you through on a pass rush, that means something's up, right? Something's coming underneath you. That's exactly what happened. You see Johnson able to kind of just slow down, find the back, and bring him down to the ground. That
is his 16th solo of the campaign and the 7th tackle for a loss. Second down and pretty much near the same line of scrimmage. Carter Schofield straight back to go, sees that gap, takes it to the right-hand side, continues to move and twists down the sidelines as he gets it inside the 12-yard line near the 11.
Yeah, you got to like Carter Schofield. I mean, he brings a different element to this game where he's making really good decisions, right? He's not a blazer, right? But he's got the wheels to get himself out of trouble and really put Newberry's defense in some dangerous positions. So, you know, maybe you start to spy him a little bit in that 5-wide set, or maybe you start to send a couple more, send a couple more blitzes his way just to get him uncomfortable.
That's third down now. 3rd and 8, and Lucas off the left-hand side. Going to power it inside and getting close to the 5-yard line. So the question is here now, do you go for it on 4th down or do you opt for a 3?
You know, you're in a good spot to where why would you go for it, right? You're not going to settle for 3. And they're in the playoffs. They're like, hey, we want to beat this team, and we got nothing to lose coming down here to Newberry. Let's go after this.
Lucas trying to turn the corner, and I don't know if he's going to get it. It's going to be close. Lucas got the do-si-do there inside the 4-yard line. And we'll see if they call it a first down. I think they're going to say it is.
That was a bold call to run that on 4th and what, 3 or 4?
Well, very staccato, too. You know, sometimes they're taking time and sometimes trying to throw the defense off and immediately come up to the line. 3 backs in the backfield on this 1st and goal scenario now. It's Lucas off the right-hand side, trying to find an opening, pushes the pile. Does he break the play?
He's shaking his head, yes, that looks like a touchdown.
And they're going to score a touchdown. Late call on that one. On the far side of the field, the linesman gave us the call that it's a touchdown. So now it's 6 apiece, but the extra point from Leonard and company forthcoming. By the way, Schofield, if you're wondering, is also the holder.
Well, fantastic drive right there. And just give the ball to a bull in the china shop and let him go in. And that's exactly what it did.
It's kind of like Mongo. You don't want to get him angry, you know?
Yeah, you don't. If you get him angry, he gets tougher.
And Leonard with the extra point, and he will drain that and make it 20 of 20 for him on the campaign. And there's Lucas just pushing, and Wyatt takes in for the touchdown. That is his 5th on the ground so far this season.
Gotta love that leg drive right there. As an offensive lineman, you love a running back that's tough-nosed, that's able to get those tough yards, and that's what we've been seeing out of Lucas here, at least in the first quarter here tonight.
7-6 the count in this one. We'll take a break with under 5 left to go in the first quarter right here on My 11. Fans, it is time to raise the roof with Mission Metals. Mission Metals, your trusted hometown metal roofing and metal building supplier right here on Friday Night Rivals. Well, the roof was raised that time by Trinity Catholic with that answer. And with the extra point, Shannon, they have the slimmest of leads now at 7-6.
Yeah, a beautiful drive. I mean, you can't pinpoint one thing. That we talked about they had to be a mixing bowl, right? At the beginning of this telecast, they said you had to run and throw it, and sure enough, that's exactly what they did on that last drive. Kept that Newberry defense off.
And look at this. Hayden Moore is going to get away again. Some reason they kicked it to him again, I guess, to challenge their special teams to do better. And doesn't get nearly as far, but gets it up across the 30-yard line when it looked like he was going to be trapped inside the 20.
They better quit messing around. Stop kicking him the ball. I mean, come on. You got to know one of the most explosive players on that team. He was the reason you were down 6-0. You kick it to him again, and he spins out of one more tackle. He's up that right sideline, and they're looking at the back of his numbers once again.
No, he's such a quiet, unassuming kid, too, as well. He works in the office as well, too, as a student assistant. In fact, when I go to interview Ed Johnson, he walks me back there. We have a nice conversation every time, too. And you would not think this kid is going to the University of Minnesota. He's almost like a librarian with his quiet approach, but changes when you put on a uniform.
Yeah, he makes a lot of noise, doesn't he?
He does indeed. From the 33, big gap off the right-hand side, pushing, shoving, and they'll get it out to around the 37, maybe the 38-yard line. So nice gain on first down in that play.
Yeah, nice game right there. Nice game right there by Caleb Woods, able to get up there and get about 5 or 6 out of that game. But that's what Newberry does, and they got to be able to run the football and run it well here tonight.
And quickly to the line. Woods has it again, gets up to the 39-yard line. You know, they do a tandem at running back sometimes with Woods and then Jamarcus Wimberly. But when you look at it, Woods seems to be the guy that's between the tackles, and Wimberly is the guy that wants to dance outside.
Yeah, you're talking about, what, thunder and lightning.
Yeah.
You know, Caleb Woods is the thunder, and Jamarcus Wimberly is the lightning.
I would say that's arriving a little early. Maybe I'm crazy, but I'm going to call that encroachment on the defense.
I mean, you'd be a betting guy, you probably end up getting your money back there. So And that's a good call. Really good call by throwing the defense off, right, getting yourself a free first down. It's 3rd and 5. You got to always be on the lookout for that, for the hard count, because a lot of times that happens on 4th down, but on 3rd down, it's a good tool to use and to keep the defensive line from firing off on your offensive line and open up these holes.
Well, that was Kamen Poole who decided he'd like to arrive early, the weak side outside linebacker, returning starter. 39 solos and a grand total of 12 assists coming into this contest. First down at the 44 from the gun. Once again, the handoff inside, and boy, the middle of the defense just sticking that to him, as there was nothing inside on that particular play. Good job defensively by big number 7, Michael Neal, to make the hit, the weak side defensive end.
You had to know this was going to be Trinity Catholic's game plan, is to stop the running game, right? You want to see Johnson throw that football. You want to see him throw it up, and if you're Newberry, you're going to need him to throw it up. You're going to need him to make some plays out there on the edge.
2nd down and 11. They lose one on the play as Kobe Johnson, the 5'9" senior, looks to his father, and Bubba Innes as well, too, the O coordinator for the latest play.
And Kobe, and listen, they got guys blitzing up the middle. You see those TC linebackers kind of shooting those gaps. They're daring them to throw it over their head.
They're coming again. Kobe Johnson rolls left and is going to throw it short. Intended for Wilcox, but because of the pressure, I think it was hurried a little bit.
And you figure they're giving them one-on-one coverage on the outside, right? You bring that many guys in the box, and you bring, the safeties playing down in the box. They're saying, hey, listen, you ain't running the ball tonight. Whether you want to roll out with it or whether you want to run Caleb Woods up the middle, it's not happening. So this is a prime opportunity on 3rd and 11 to unleash one or just launch it over the top one time and just open up this defense a little bit.
Kobe had a good game against Keystone Heights, 6 of 7, 169 yards and 2 touchdowns. Keystone Heights has struggled this season, to say the least. 3rd down and 11. Looks like they're bringing the kitchen sink. 6 are coming. Johnson on the out pattern, has his man, is caught inside the 45 to the 44, and maybe the 43 is out of the backfield. That's one of his strengths. Caleb Woods will make the catch.
Yeah, it was a beautiful wheel route coming around that right edge right there, and Caleb Woods able to get into, find a nice little soft zone right there and make a nice catch. You see number 42 right there for TC trying to cover him right there, but they were able to break through that zone and get a nice little comfortable first down.
Another GFL first down. Green today and green for life. Sometimes we huddle, sometimes we go frantic on both sides of this first quarter. On the ground, and they lost the ball, and I think there's a tussle. Johnson and I think 28, and it's going to be Poole who comes up with it. Kamen Poole makes amends for his encroachment, comes up with the fumble, and will turn it over now to the Celtics.
It was an oh-no moment because you saw both Caleb Woods and you saw Kobe Johnson just kind of say, ooh, who has the ball? That's tough about his own read, Randy, because as a quarterback, you got to know if you got to hand that ball off. You got to make 2 decisions. Hey, should I hand this ball off or should I pull it and run it? And sure enough, it got caught in the middle zone, and it forces the Newberry turnover.
Do you go up top right away here?
Yeah, I think you unleash one, right? I think you be able to, whenever there's a change of downs just like this, I think you have to at least take a shot.
Triad to the top. No, they're going to keep it on the ground. And Lucas will churn for about a yard or so, and that's about it. And we would like to take a moment to thank the fine folks at Sonny's Barbecue for feeding our Friday night Rivals crew. Sonny's, we are barbecue, and the crew, we are eaters.
We are eaters. And we had some good brisket tonight, right? Last game of the season, we had some great brisket. I mean, thank you to the local Sonny's here, the I Serve Barbecue LLC franchise group of Sonny's. Done a great job of supporting this program, and we really do appreciate it.
Second down after a short gain. Now pressure on Bennett, forcing Schofield to dance to the outside. The pass is complete. He makes something out of nothing to the 45-yard line. Caught on the play by number 5, Millie Jenkins.
How about that? He was dead to rights back there, and you got to like what Carter Schofield's doing back there. Not only is he getting himself out of trouble, but he's actually putting these passes in pinpoint positions to have his receivers make plays. So you got to appreciate what he's doing and how he's approaching this offense here in this first quarter.
Well, he's got the arm, he's got the frame, he's got the speed. He's 6'4" and 185. And on a 3rd down and 1, no brotherly shove, but they'll do the quarterback sneak, and he'll get it down to the 41-yard line and easily have enough for a first down.
Easy peasy right there, and kind of unexpected. Randy, when I was an offensive coordinator for the Santa Fe High School Raiders, back in 2018. That was one of my favorite plays to call, was a quarterback sneak. If there was nobody in there, just sneak it. You can get 4 or 5 yards. Just don't make it harder than it necessarily needs to be.
2nd and 27, and Shannon calls a sneak, right?
Yeah, exactly. it could work. It could happen.
It could. If you're running it, it could, yes. 1st down and 10 for the 41. Looking to the left in the flat, but he bounces that one short on the play for Jenkins. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, Schofield's first kind of miscue right there, kind of skipped that ball, and, it might have been very minimal gain because the cornerback was closing in on him, but you got to appreciate how TC has opened up this offense, has opened up this game a little bit, spread this Newberry defense out, has been able to get some really nice running lanes for Wyatt Lucas, and Schofield has been able to put some pinpoint passes on, and this is probably one of the prime reasons they're leading 7-6 here tonight.
I'm going to ask you, think about this. Did you ever carry the ball in high school or college too? Take a look, and the pass deflected. Great paw that time to bring it up and bring it down rapidly on the play for Newberry, and big number 10 making the play. That is Devon Rim. But did you ever carry the ball?
I didn't. I was trying to convince my coach to let me, but he said, over my dead body. And I think he really meant it. So I was like, either it was.
You killed him or what?
I had to kill my coach or I wasn't going to run the ball.
Oh, my goodness. So Rim with the paw to knock that down. And great job by the guy with 26 solos, 39 assists. He's got a tackle for a loss. Got a couple picks for 34 yards and also fumble recovery. On 3rd down, we got whistles. And we'll see what we got. We've got encroachment on the defense. Again, you don't have offsides in high school football. You hear that a lot. It's not accurate. You have encroachment because once you violate that neutral zone, the play is dead.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you jump into that neutral zone. I mean, not even like you have to touch another player. You don't have to, go off of a faulty snap. It's like once you're in that zone, for safety reasons, obviously when somebody jumps off, they blow it dead.
Halfway home, 3rd and 5 now from the 36. Again, a quartet to the top. Schofield looking that way, pops it. Wow, pass is complete. Jenkins has got it. That thing was nearly picked off on the play on the outside. I think that was 25 on the play. That was DeAndre Alford that nearly came up with the swipe.
One step, Randy.
Yeah.
Listen, okay, let's give credit. Alford almost just runs right through. He takes this. He's taking this to the house, right? We see that right there. But excellent pass by Schofield, putting a missile right to the outside, and even better catch right there on the outside just to be able to bring that in by Amon Jenkins.
Let's see if they run one more play or not. We're under 10 in the quarter. They may not have to. Schofield company looking to the sidelines to Coach Clint Hart, and that'll do it for the first stanza. A lot of excitement. Rock'em Sock'em football in the first 12 minutes of play as Trinity Catholic came in at 4-4, Newberry at 4-5. Trinity Catholic in the playoffs. Newberry hoping to get a win and then waiting until Thursday at noon to find out officially. But a good one in week number 10. 7-6 after 1 right here on Friday Night Rivals in one place on My 11. Let's check out the Parks Motor Group of Gainesville scoring summary. Local roots, community pride, legendary rides, and even more with a little icing early on, taking it more than 90 yards on the opening kick for a touchdown. The extra point was no good. We stood at 6-0. Then the answer on a long drive, Shannon, as they take it in from Mr. Lucas about 3 yards out, and Leonard with the tiebreaker with the extra point.
Yeah, we've seen a lot from Lucas, and we saw, quite a bit from Newberry early on, but it really was a tale of one quarter, if you will, right? We saw what Trinity Catholic had to offer in their offense, and we haven't really gotten to see the full gauntlet of what Newberry has. And they're on the ropes right now. They need to make a stop, right? So this is really important. But you gotta respect what Carter Schofield has done tonight. I've been really impressed with the big quarterback from TCU here tonight.
They're going to hand it off. Lucas got it. A little off-tackle action flag on the play. He keeps churning, keeps fighting inside the 10. It's rugby breaking out, but we've got the hanky, and I think we might have to bring this one back some 9 seconds in the second quarter. It was a good shot, too, the firefighters, too, as it is, as we mentioned, National Responders Day this past week, and we're inside the Column Mattress red zone. We'll take a look at this one more time. You can see point of attack there off the right tackle, a nice play, but to the left of that, we had a holding call, and now we also have 2 players down on the field, one for each team being attended to inside the 20-yard line. So the hold is the call against the Celtics.
I always hate this part of the game where you have 2 players go down on one play. Injuries are part of the game. I think everybody understands that, but at the end of the day, it doesn't make it any easier to watch, to call, to play with one, because I've had injuries on the field, and it's been terrible. You just hope they get up and are able to walk off.
Well, on his feet right now for Newberry is Hernando Garvin, who's a young player that plays in the secondary and has really done a good job so far on the season. He is just a freshman at 5'9" and 165, and he'll saunter off the field. So, I mean, when you look at that secondary, you got 2 seniors for Newberry, but you've got a freshman in Garvin and a sophomore in Demetrius DeBose. You got 3 DeBoses. You got 2 Neals on the other side.
You sure do. It's a family affair for sure, as we've talked about with Newberry before. And this community, and we talk about Newberry. It's really tight-knit community here. What they do, and you see right there, number 62.
It's Ryan Felix.
Yeah, that's Ryan Felix right there. Had to kind of carry him off the field. Hopefully, it looks like an ankle or knee, but hopefully he's okay. It doesn't hamper him too long.
It looks like it's going to keep him sidelined for a while. Speaking of sidelines, by the way, later on tonight we'll be going down to the legendary, the infamous, and the borderline. Hannah Mack, who will join us tonight for the second time this season, working the sidelines. We say thank you to her as well too. So, after the stoppage now, Trinity Catholic going to try to figure out what they'd like to do as we're 9 ticks into the second quarter here in week number 10. Ball back to the 29-yard line. First down from there. First and nearly 20. Schofield rolling, giving ground and tossing, and the pass nearly picked off on the play along the far side of the field.
Man, he is playing with fire. I mean, you had a couple of times. You see number 20 right there, Devin Gindelsberger, about trying to pick that pass off right there. But he had another one where D. Alford almost took it back on their previous drive down at the other end. So you got to be careful with your Schofield, because these Panthers are looking to take one back to the house on defense.
Gindelsberger's in there because of that injury. Kaler was the intended receiver. Pressure on, the quick pop underneath. It's complete. It is Lucas who saunters inside the 28, loses his balance at around the 27-yard line, and he's upset because he felt he had a lot of real estate in front of him.
He did. He cut that on a dime, and got to like his hands, right? We talked about his running ability and what he does, from the backfield, but when he came out the backfield and was able to get in the open field, he had some room there.
Tight quad to the top on this play. Schofield sees nothing to that right side, tries to create something to the other side. Can he look downfield and throw? He does, and the pass on the play is going to be picked off inside the 10-yard line. Scooped up on the play by Larry DeBose.
I told you, like, he was playing with fire. He had been comfortable enough throwing that ball into Panther defenders, and he's fitting them into some tight windows. But when you throw back across your body, he's rolling out to the left and he's throwing back the opposite way. You get into some problems, and sure enough, safety comes up and picks that ball off and gives Newberry new life.
There's a bit of a wobbler, 2 and 4 DeBose. That's his second interception of the season. Young man that used to wear number 24, now wears 3. In fact, is committed to Northern Illinois. He's a 2-year starter for the Panthers. 7-6 the tally in this one. Played just about a minute to the second quarter. We'll take a break here on my left. Fans, during the fourth quarter of tonight's game will be highlighting the school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing, paid for by NHTSA, which is the National Highway Transportation and Safety Administration. I used to have them as guests on my radio show all the time. So on the first down play, the quick pop out in the flat. Oh, there is nothing there. Hayden Moore was looking for an opening, and all he got was trashed by Kaler.
I mean, just listen. This Noah Kaler able to come off that edge in that nickel slot position, came off the edge and made some stuff happen. Able to chase him down and throw him to the ground. And God, you're in dangerous territory if you're Newberry, in the shadow of your own end zone.
Yeah, Woods is actually standing about 3 yards deep in the end zone.
Yeah, he sure is.
And right now you're in a quandary if you're the Panthers, because they're coming up the middle and they're also beating you to the edge. So where do you go?
I mean, you got to figure out something.
Uh-oh, the snap over his head.
Oh, boy. Oh,
and through the end zone for a safety.
Oh, no.
Add 2 to the board and make it 9-6.
Well, I mean, there's the problems with, playing that close to your end zone. You almost have to be perfect, right? you can't hold in the end zone or it's a safety. You're an offensive lineman. You let a guy go, get hit in the backfield, and then there's this problem, right? Is that if you fumble the snap or if you throw it or something errant goes wrong, and you basically give away 2 points. So, what turned into a really great turnover for Newberry has now turned into a problem by giving TC 2 points here.
And if you remember when we were here early in the season, that was an issue too with the snaps.
Yeah, the snaps were, it's almost like, hey, go under center if you guys are having a tough time snapping this football. You got to go from A to B, which means center's got to get the snap back to the quarterback. And it didn't even look like Kobe Johnson was ready for it. So this is what happens when you're out of sync here.
So we'll see what happens as we have a free kick then that'll be forthcoming from the 20-yard line. Stay tuned for the Pavlov halftime report. We'll have this week's Park Motor Group of Gainesville Scholar Athletes, Park Motor Group, local roots, community pride, legendary rides. We'll also talk with tonight's participating school administrators, plus Thursday night lights and Friday night rivals highlights from across the country. All coming up on the Pavlov Media halftime report. Pavlov, the fastest and most reliable fiber internet in Gainesville. The free kick from the 20 for Bush & Company. And the return is going to start from the 27. And across midfield.
Oh, boy. Oh, no.
Hello and goodbye to Christian Neal all the way down inside the 20-yard line. So the cousin of the head coach proves his merit, a guy that can play pretty much anywhere. And Christian Neal with a monster return on Halloween. And now they've got a first down and short.
Man, if you are Newberry, you better wake up, and you better wake up quick. I mean, what was a really competitive game here over the course of the last, couple minutes has kind of turned on its head, if you will, right? It's getting to be scary hours if we're talking Halloween for Newberry. They got to be able to slow down TC because they have all the momentum right now.
And that young man is just a junior, by the way. First down and 10, we'll call it just past the 15-yard line, already in the Calamatras red zone. And they'll squirm it off to the left and get a gain of about 3 on the play, perhaps, before that ends right there. Is Wyatt Lucas, who's become, the Iron Man in this contest, will get another carry.
I mean, take away the 6 points, take away the big kickoff return in the first part of this game by number 4, Hayden Moore, then if you're Newberry, you got to be able to do some other things. You got to be able to have some other things in your repertoire because right now TC's owning the night.
On a second down play. All right, and that was a good job that time, as Lucas will get the carry off the left-hand side. Hey, during the fourth quarter of tonight's game, we'll be selecting the IBEW Local 1205's Player of the Game. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 1205, powering a brighter future. Our thanks to them and the crew all season. Lanny and Sean have been tremendous to deal with and great supporters of high school football. If you're looking for the next career as a senior in high school, check out the IBEW Local 1205. Lucas off the right side, squirms, tries to cut it inside the 4 to the 3-yard line. Pursuit is there to knock him down. But, boy, right now, you are in the driver's seat if you're the Celtics.
Yeah, that's going to be a first down. But, listen, you keep giving the ball up to Lucas down here on the goal line. There's no reason to stop what you're doing because, you got guys from Newberry getting banged up at the line of scrimmage right now, and they're not really holding a lot of resistance.
And we've got a timeout taken on the field, as we're just under 9 minutes left to go in the first half. And what started in this contest is a big momentum boost for Newberry. Has since seen the pendulum swing big time to the squad from Ocala and Trinity Catholic, looking for win number 5 on the campaign in 9 games. And Newberry was hoping to go ahead and get 500 after 10 contests. So we'll see what happens as we have that timeout on the field. And now both teams coming back out. Is it all just Lucas right now? Is that all you want to do?
Yeah. You would hope and think that Coach Clinton Hart over on the opposite sideline is saying, hey, let's just give it a number 29. You got 4 downs to get it in here. You might as well just keep doing that.
And now we have a timeout on the field taken by Newberry. Time to talk a little defense as they burn their first timeout here in this first half with 2 remaining. And right now, if you're the defense of Newberry, you're looking for that elixir to kind of shut it down. Coach Green and company, who's been an assistant to 4 different Newberry head coaches, and also D-line coach, trying to find out some elixir for that 4-3 defense.
Yeah, this is an important drive right here, Randy. They'll try to hold them to 4 and out, or try to hold them to just a field goal because them going down 2 scores, we've seen history dictate that Newberry has a tough time of opening things up and, playing from behind. So we want to be able to see what this defense can do against what's been a really good offense here tonight.
Halloween, were you contemplating a costume, or are you going to do something later on?
Yeah, I was going to go as a superstar, but I woke up and I was myself, and it already happened, so I don't want to tell you.
Medic, up here, please. National responder, please come up here. You put a guy on the Today Show, and all of a sudden he's kicking Craig Melvin off and telling Savannah Guthrie how to do things, and Lucas on the keeper this time. Why don't you go down there and coach too, Mr. Big Shot, huh?
I need my half a second of fame, Randy.
Hey, you did a great job. I have to tell you this. I watched that, and it was tremendous to see what you did on the show and the cooking for the Packers. And also for the Steelers. There you are with Craig Melvin. He sounded kind of raspy. You had the stronger voice of the two.
I did. I didn't want to overshadow him, but yeah, I did some beer-battered cheese curds, and we did a Coca-Cola pulled pork cherry sandwich. It was actually pretty dope.
And we'll keep it on the ground on this play here, and they will not break the plane of the end zone again, too. So they'll keep it at the 3-yard line with Lucas and company. So we'll see what they opt to do now as they tried a couple times to try to make something happen.
Yeah, and this is the recipe, right? The recipe for success.
Actually,
right?
there's pool, I think, by that time.
Yeah, and here's the thing: it's like third and goal, so you got to feel good if you're Newberry, right? By holding Lucas to really no gains on both first and second down. But this is where you got to dig deep, right? You cannot let them in the end zone. Maybe try to hold them to a field goal and just keep this a one-score game.
Third and goal. Schofield rolling, looking, throwing across. Oh, hello, what did I find?
Wow.
And he hangs on for the touchdown.
Wow. Man.
That was a shocker, as I don't think Caden Bucks thought the ball was coming his way. It's another Radiant Credit Union touchdown, and Bucks, the tight end, gets his second touchdown of the campaign. Watch this. Oh, it's to me? Oh wait, no. What? Oh, I got it.
And he's open. I'm thinking maybe he goes to Lucas in the flat right there, like he's wide open, and sure enough, he made the tough throw, and Caden Birch made the tough catch. So touchdown, Trinity Catholic.
Leonard with the PAT, and he nails that. So make it now a grand total of 21 on extra points for Andrew Leonard, and Caden Bucks with his second touchdown catch of the campaign. The 6'2", 235-pound senior makes it 16-6 with the extra point. All Trinity Catholic after that opening kickoff. More of the second quarter just around the corner here on My 11. It is time to raise the roof with Mission Metals. Mission Metals, your trusted hometown metal roofing and metal building supplier, right here on Friday Night Rival. Senior night at Newberry High School. Do you remember your senior night?
I do. Yeah, I do. We ended up beating Robinson High School 21-7, and I predicted a score beforehand that we would beat them 70-0. So, but, it happens, right? We still won, but at the end of the day, I wished it was 70-0. Maybe I played it out of my head or my dreams the previous night that way, but it was definitely not that. Now, I think they were a little mad about that. So, at the end of the day, we still won, though.
I think I'd be a little upset if you said that, too.
I don't blame them.
It's amazing you lived this long.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, honestly, on a lot of fronts. So.
Leonard will squib it along the ground. The return's going to start from the 28-yard line on the Sky Frog kickoff, and Newberry will have decent field position up to the 42 on the return of about 13 yards.
So here's where we exist with Newberry right now, Randy, is that they have to get points on this drive. This is the most important drive, probably not before we get on to the next part of the second half of this game, but of the first half, is that they are now down 2 scores, and this is not a team that wants to play from behind. They don't. It's not in their genetic DNA. They're playing against a really explosive offense who likes to maybe ball control a little bit, so they got to be able to take this decent field position, and go down and at least get 3 points here.
Wilcox, Moore, all to the top, and the handoff right up the gut, waiting to find the blocks to get them established as Woods, and does a nice job of getting across midfield. And that's the thing when you look at it. They have the receivers. They have the running backs. They just have to put it all together on offense.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. And there's still, there's still time, right, where we talk about, what they can do if they win the game here tonight. But also, that time sometimes runs out. And that's kind of where they're sitting right now, right? Trinity Catholic gets the ball after halftime. You remember they deferred. So
right.
it's important that Newberry goes down here and at least runs his clock in and gets some points up on the board.
1st and 10 from the 49-yard line of the Celtics. It's Woods again. Carries defenders, spins, and not going to go too far. Picked up a couple yards before he got pushed back on the play. One guy I watched with churning legs the entire time was big number 68. That's Braden Hafer. He kept his legs pumping like he was in the marching band and was able, with that pursuit, to push back Woods.
Yeah, was able to push him back, but Woods able to churn those legs enough to get a first down. And Randy, listen, if you're Newberry, they are Trinity Catholic is primed. When I say prime, they are very prime for just a shot over the top, something play action wise. They are coming downhill. Those linebackers aren't respecting the fact that they're to cover any zones in the middle of that field. They're coming downhill hard. It's just something over top if you're Newberry, just to open that thing up some.
Are they coming on a blitz? We got a whistle and a penalty flag, and let's see if we have a false start on the offense. Yeah, I think the fake of the blitz of 2 additional guys caused the false start on the offensive line.
And they're not faking it, right? They're coming downhill. They know number 2. They know number 2, Caleb Woods, is getting that ball. They said, hey, listen, we're sending run blitzes until you prove that you can throw the ball at us or throw it over our heads or hit some big plays out of it. We're going to start bringing guys, and he's not going to beat us here tonight.
1st and 15, mark it across the 50, back at the 48-yard line. It's Woods again. He's got a gap, he's got a step, and he's got a burst, and he's inside the 30 and pushed down inside the 26-yard line.
Yeah, sometimes a great play call can beat a good blitz. And you saw Trinity Catholic trying to come off the edge, and you see Caleb Woods able to get inside, shake one guy, break one tackle, break another tackle right there and get really big yards. And that's sometimes the running back creates really big opportunities, and that's what Caleb Woods does.
Another GFL first down, gain of 27 on the play. 1st and 10 now, mark the ball inside the 26-yard line. They've been lacking the big explosive play at times, but they got it right there. Johnson to Woods near side. Trying to dance to the outside, has an opening, gets inside the 20, gets to the 16, and brought down at the 15-yard line. Inside the Call a Mattress red zone one more time. Call a Mattress, deals so hot they build a fire station across the street.
Yeah, and Caleb Woods, you see with his explosiveness, like he's good inside-outside runner. What does that mean? He's good to be able to run the ball between the tackles and then to bounce it outside and use the speed to really get up along the edge. And you don't realize how quick he is until you're trying to chase him down and you see the back of his numbers trotting towards the goalpost.
And it's time for a water break timeout here as we're just over 5 minutes left in the first half. And Newberry finally putting together a good drive, trying to make a statement here and dent that 10-point cushion in this contest. So we'll see what happens here in week number 10. And we want to remind you, too, that we'd like to give a big shout out to Tucker Chiropractic, using the activator instrument so we don't twist and crack your back. Speaking of which, not the celebrity that you are, but I did do a 5K today. Yet I'm still alive.
Yeah, Randy, you're a man of many talents, so it doesn't really surprise me that you do a 5K. How did it turn out? What was your time?
There was no time kept, thank goodness.
Okay, well, that's good.
But I can say that as somebody in wrapping up my 7th decade, I think I survived pretty well. So
7th decade? I didn't even see before.
Well,
you came on air.
When you're going to be 70, right? So that's
Randy,
the 8th decade.
You're lying to everybody on there. You're in your 50s, okay?
I wish. My socks are older than that, for crying out loud. All right, so right now, if you're TC, what do you try to do on defense? Because as Newberry had to try to stop you, now you have to try to stop the Panthers.
I would do what I would continue to do, and I would send blitzes, right? I think the blitz package that they've installed caused that last turnover where it caused some confusion between Caleb Woods and between Kobe Johnson and forced him to drop the ball. Keep sending blitzes. You're down here on the end. Force him to throw the ball. Do not let him run this ball into the end zone.
Great shot. You were in the secondary there trying to stop this play. Just inside the 15-yard line. Readjust, bring more tighter to the formation. And look at this. Caleb to the right side. Nobody there.
Beautiful.
Door is wide open. It's another Radiant Credit Union touchdown. And there's your answer you're looking for as he takes it in. 5:06 left to go and cuts it to 16-12.
What an answer. And you're going to love the way that he just ran his football. This ball was meant to go left, but Caleb Woods, just a vision, able to cut it back outside that back door and see nothing but green grass. And that's what a good running back does. Sometimes you think as much stuff as you can send to him, and you can throw the kitchen sink, is that he will find an opening, get to that get to that hole and explode through it, and that's exactly what Caleb Woods did and put 6 points up on the board.
7th touchdown on the ground this season. He's over 100 carries now in the campaign. And a chance to add one more in the person of Mr. Bush. Snap, kick, plenty of leg this time. And it's good. So the difference is a field goal. With just over 5 minutes left to go in the first half, there's a happy kicker there who'll make amends for a missed extra point earlier. And now it's 16-13 in this contest. So they kind of borrowed a page from Trinity Catholic using that running game. And look at the great explosion by Moore. As you said, let's go student body left. No, student body's there, so I'll go to the right side where it's study hall and take it into the end zone.
Well, I mean, hopefully they were listening to me, right? Going down and getting something. But really, realistically, you turn to number 2, right? You're number 2 in your offensive line. I mean, when Newberry can get going, when they start finding holes, when they start getting rolling, they are a very tough offense to stop, right? It's just sometimes when the bleeding happens, it's like, hey, you got to stop it now. And that's exactly what they did. If you're Newberry, you've got to feel great about that drive. You've got to feel great about what you did on the ground, right? You still have a lot of room to open it up for your passing game to complement that running game. So this is still a wide-open game here tonight, Randy.
And you look at Caleb Woods, a guy that has at least 20 D1 offers, including Pitt, USF, and Wisconsin, to name a few. He seems like the prototypical Wisconsin running back, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, do you think Jonathan Taylor, right? Jonathan Taylor has a lot of speed, but runs between the tackles, and we talk about that inside-outside ability, not to mention that one-cut ability, the able to shake some people down. Listen, when he gets to be developed a little bit more in college, man, the sky is the limit for this young man.
Bush with the honors to kick it off. Caden from the 40. Your Skyfrog kickoff is going to be returned from the 12-yard line to the far side. Look at the acceleration this time and working his way outside and still going. Neal's got a gap, and boy, he can outrun just about anybody, including the bus that brought him here. And gets a nice gain. And you look at him and you think, all right, the sideline's working against him. And still, he's able to motor through the defenders and get an incredible return.
That sideline balance, it's a rare skill that people have as runners, that you're able to use that sideline as almost a guideline of where you need to go and how fast you need to get there. And sure enough, you see him go down and you think he's out of bounds, and nope, I'm going to turn it back in, and got blockers on the sideline. And that was a huge return. Once again, the special teams game is coming through in this football game here tonight.
Second big return by him, 53 yards on that one to the 35. Schofield on the out pattern has his little bubble screen near side. Not much there, though. Defense there to help knock that down as the catch is made on the play by Gabe Serrano.
Looks like some laundry on the field there, too.
Yep, there is at the 33-yard line. And Mr. Tiller says we've got a hold on the offense, so we're coming back.
I mean, and here's the thing tonight with both teams is that they've had a couple of penalties. There hasn't been a plethora of them, right? But I think some of the penalties that have happened here tonight, there was a big Caleb Johnson run that had that called back because of a penalty. And we see a couple on Trinity Catholic side. Those things need to be cleaned up. Trinity Catholic headed to the playoffs. You can't have those, right? In Newberry, you're fighting for your playoff life. You can't have those either.
So the penalty took place at the 33, so they'll mark it back to the 43. They need 18 on first down. The handoff's going to go to Wyatt Lucas. He gets inside the 40, but that's about it. Short gain on the play before he's brought down by stocky number 50, shall we say, who makes the hit on the play. That's the one only Ben Russell.
Ben Russell there. Also, you saw number 10, Devon Rem, able to be there too. And listen, I love watching this Lucas kid run this football. I mean, he looks for contact. You got to love a running back that's first instinct isn't to try to shake somebody or run around them, but to run through them.
That is what we were taught in high school, run through the contact. Didn't always work. That's what you're told, at least. Schofield straight back. Boy, pressure from Bennett immediately, so he decides to tuck and run and take it down to sidelines before he steps out. I tell you what, it looked like Bennett was going to get the handoff. He was in there so fast.
It did. It looked like he was like meeting him in the backfield, like he knew the play. But once again, Carter Schofield able to use just some of that God-given ability to escape and get what was a lost yardage play into some pretty decent gain.
They're at the 31 now. They have to get the ball down to the 25 to move the sticks again, as we're under 4 minutes left to go here in the first half. Glad to have you aboard. Week number 10, Jeff Cardozo on assignment. I'm Randy Reinhardt. Jeff's going to get working shortly on his notes for UF and Georgia in baseball that precedes that football tilt. 4 to the top. Schofield looking that way. Underneath, throws it right to the defender. Back the other way.
Man.
And here we go.
Uh-oh.
Into the breadbasket, number 25, DeAndre Alford, who nearly had one before. And Alford is going to slow down. And
Oh, boy.
in. I don't know if he was high-stepping or if he ran out of energy, but it's a Radiant Credit Union touchdown.
Oh, boy. Listen, once again, Carter Schofield's living on the edge, right? And we're not talking about the song. We're talking about he kind of looked out there, didn't even see number 25 right there, didn't see DeAndre Alford as he did on the last one. It kind of reminded you of that last play that Alford was like, hey, I'm peeking there. He was sitting on passes, and sure enough, he found one, and he took it to the crib.
73 yards on that interception return for a touchdown as DeAndre Alford nearly had one. This time he does have one as he takes that the distance for the score. He had 14 solos, 26 assists coming into this contest. Okay, the cushion now.
Man, look at what happened, Randy. Like we were talking just a few minutes ago, Newberry was just down 16-6, and look, pending the extra point, it's about to be 20-16.
Snap, kick, and it is blocked.
Okay.
Great job on the play. I think that was Michael Neal that got it, and scooped up after that by Noah Kaler.
Knock on wood, it's a 19-16, but. Man, you got to feel good if you're Newberry. Like what? I mean, just flipping and switching. This one, you could see that DeAndre Alford wasn't even looking for it. It was almost like it got thrown right into his lap, and just Schofield might have threw that ball to a little bit to the outside, and Alford had the ability and the speed to get it to the end zone.
And get this, he is just a sophomore.
Man, he's going to be giving a lot of teams problems here for the next couple of years.
Well, think about the turnaround. I mean, about 5 minutes ago, it felt like Trinity Catholic was going to pick their own score. And just like that, the switch flipped. And you've got the interception return. You got Woods and company on a long drive. And, again, they mirrored their opponents and made it happen. There's a guy, Ed Johnson, who's got to be pretty happy with that turnaround.
Yeah, he is. I mean, Ed Johnson has, been a staple in this county for, quite a few years. And, this is a guy that does his program the right way. He brings his guys up the right way. He invests a lot of time into them. So you want to see a guy like this in the playoffs. You want to see a guy like this be kind of like that Cinderella story that can really take these guys to the next level.
We've had a safety, a touchdown pass, a touchdown run, and an interception return. A little
Bingo.
bit of everything.
Bingo.
Excuse me, folks. That's in the second quarter alone. Shannon's going to juggle and sing and dance at halftime as well, too. I mean, we've had it all here in the second quarter. My goodness.
I mean, it is Halloween. Scary things do happen on the 31st of October.
The only thing we haven't had is a field goal.
Well, Randy, the night's still young.
That's true, and so are you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
We're going to have another Sky Frog kickoff here. We've had a lot of those. And we're going to have a penalty. We're going to mark it back 5 to the 35-yard line. So that we had to delay a game called on the kickoff. So mark it back 5. You'll have to kick it from the 35. Now, we talk about the dangerous kick returners in Moore and Neal, and those guys have made things happen. So we'll see what happens now, because with the 35-yard line, the deep men are now standing at only the 20-yard line. Bush puts a leg into it, and he's going to kick it deeper than that, back to the 15-yard line. And that's where the return's going to start, across the 20, the 25, and there's a gap, another seam right up the middle, and here we go. All the way across midfield down to the 44-yard line. That time on the return for Trinity Catholic, it is Amat Cadet, who is just a freshman, 6 feet and 170.
Listen, there's something you're gonna have to revisit your kickoff coverage team if you're Newberry, because there's something inherently wrong about allowing 3 returns that are close to 50 yards. You can't do that. Like, you cannot afford to give a team as good as Trinity Catholic this good of a field position on every drive. Just not something that you want to do.
I'm going to say this: first 1 to 40 wins. First and 10 from the 44. Schofield straight back. Nothing to his left. Rifles it downfield and maybe a little too strong at the 27-yard line through the hands of the intended receiver, who slowly gets to his feet, and that's Millie Jenkins.
Yeah, you got to catch that if you're Millie Jenkins. You can't. I don't know if I can put this one on Schofield. He threw a hot ball down there to him, but he was able to get his hands and his body on that one. You as your receiver, you got to help your quarterback out. You're going to watch again here. Schofield uncorking one, and see here?
Oh, yeah.
Hands are on it. It hit him around the face mask. He took a shot behind it, but, you got to be able to catch that football.
Easy for your linemen to pick on the wideouts, isn't it?
It is.
Thank you very much. Second down. Pressure on. Look out, Schofield. He's going to go down. There's a triad that just came right through, and he got hit by two guys, one on either side. On one side, it was Jameer Williams. On the other side, it was Darius DeBose.
Yeah, it was what they like to call a meeting at the quarterback. There's a bunch of defensive linemen back there just, singing Kumbaya and roasting marshmallows. The marshmallow being Carter Schofield back there. The offensive line's got to do a better job in passing situations of protecting their quarterback. You see 2 or 3 guys get back there. We talk about number 17, Jameer Williams, one of the first on scene. But that's not something you want to see is 4 or 5 guys around your quarterback and taking them to the ground like that.
And Devon Rim was also there, the middle linebacker. So mark it back to midfield on the play. That's going to be third down and long. Third, we'll call it 16. 2.5 left to go in the quarter. Timeout on the field taken. Clock is still running. We have timeout taken, but the clock continues to run. We have timeout on the field. We had timeout with 2:21. I'm going to go ahead and yell and tell them to stop the clock. Clock continues to run. It went down to 2:06. It was around 2:20 or 2:21. And our referee, Mr. Tiller, is going to try to reset the clock right now. It looks like he wants 2:22. I've got the glasses on. 19-16 the tally in this one. Let's go down to sidelines with the third member of our broadcast team. Here's our Hannah Mack. Hannah?
I'm still trying to find him. I'm walking across the field.
All right, we've got 2:22 left to go in the first half. It's third down and long from midfield. Passing play, you would think, Shannon?
Yeah, you would think so, Randy. Maybe run or draw up the middle if you're conceding, but no, they're going to roll them out, and maybe it's a roll-out run.
And Schofield is going to slide down into second base at around the 47-yard line. So
you would figure throwing the ball up or putting it up in the air, or just with the Newberry pass rush, which has really turned up the dial a little bit here in the second quarter. You don't want to create another turnover, another lost yardage play. So I think TC may be conceding the fact that they just want to punt this away and try to get into the half here.
Meanwhile, Newberry opted to take their second timeout and say, you know what? We feel the mo right now, so we'll see if we can get the ball back and make a late statement here. Already up by 3 at 19-16 with just over 2 minutes left to go. And did you notice that Amont Cadet was in the backfield at that particular play as well, too?
I did, yeah. And listen, he's the third down back, if you will. And he's going to be the guy that kind of catches a lot of the pass, even though what we saw a lot out of Wyatt Lucas. But, this is a tale of two quarters now because of what happened in the first quarter. Newberry comes out swinging and, all of a sudden falls behind the thing. And then all of a sudden, TC turns it on, right? Their offense is looking good. Carter Schofield's throwing around. We see a lot of Wyatt Lucas. And then in the last, 3 or 4 minutes, Newberry just does what Newberry does. So I'm excited to see both teams go in the half and see what kind of adjustments come out and what they put together for what should be a pretty exciting second half.
Garvin and Williams are deep. Leonard stands back to punt at around his own 41-yard line. Andrew Leonard, a guy that can do it all when it comes to kicking and also defensive, and also, by the way, plays basketball. Perfect snap, and there's the leg they were talking about. It's high, not that deep, and it's dropped by Williams, who will try to scoop it up and get it. And boy, dodged a bullet there out to the 17-yard line. All right, now, if you're in this situation here, and you're that deep and you're Newberry, are you actually going to try to do something, or will that be in the form of handing the ball to Caleb Woods?
You figure, with 2 minutes left and you're calling timeouts, you have a plan in mind, right? If you're Ed Johnson, it's like, hey, do I hand the ball to Caleb Woods and hope for a big run? At that point, we know we can start maybe chucking around a little bit. But, to being this close to your end zone, I think you run the ball a couple times. And if one pops, great. If one doesn't, hey, listen, you're going into half up 3 points. You really flip momentum here in the second quarter, and you prepare to play defense in the second half against a TC offense.
First down and 10 from the 18. And the toss back to Hayden Moore comes from bottom to top. He's got a gap. He's got the speed.
Oh, boy.
There's Hayden Moore.
Sweet dreams.
On down the sideline.
Sweet dreams.
And Hayden Moore has got the gas, and he will take it the distance. Hayden Moore will take it in for the touchdown. Another Radiant Credit Union touchdown. And boom, add 6 more to the board, and that's his second touchdown. He's a wide receiver, but what does he have? A handoff on a toss for a touchdown and a kick return for a touchdown.
Listen, this is sweet dreams, and this counts as a pass, right? That's a catch on his thing. But you knew when he got to this point, there was nobody catching him. Look, has the angle on him. This man can run. And when I said sweet dreams, it's because ain't nobody catching him. He's floating away. It's good night. Have a good day. Anything you want to call it. This man is, when he's in the open field, he is speed personified.
So he takes it in for the touchdown, add 6 more to the board. At one time they were down by 10, and now they have a chance to be up by 10, although the snap is high. Williams trying to turn the corner, dances to his right, to the left, tries to find the seam, and he takes it in for the 2-point try.
Wow.
Just the wait, there's a flag that was tossed, though, after the play. Another flag, but I think there was a skirmish after the play. And who's that down in the field? Is that Cayman Poole, perhaps, 28?
Yeah, there was a couple things going on down there. I don't know. There's a late hit. There's some unsportsmanlike stuff going on down there. So
we're going to have to sort through this scenario here. If it was good, it would be 27-16. But Williams stands with the football. And Ed Johnson now yelling to somebody along his sideline. So we'll see what this scenario is. The scoreboard has not changed. We still stand at 25-16.
Yeah,
So there are the flags. One's resting about 9 yards deep in the end zone. The other's resting at the 3-yard line. Let's try to sort out this situation here.
You're going to see
see what happens here at the end of the play.
Okay, you're going to see one right there. Oh, there's one. And he poked him in the eye.
Yeah, he got poked in the eye.
Oh, boy. I wouldn't be surprised to see that be a disqualification.
If they caught it.
Yeah, if they caught that. I mean,
all right. Poole is on his feet now. And let's head down to the sidelines where Hannah Mack is standing by. Hannah, what's going on?
All right, this is a close one here in Newberry, Florida. 25-16 is your score. Newberry was just up 19-16, and then Hayden Moore did it again. 81 yards to the house. He started this game with the kickoff return and got things going for Newberry. There's lots of injuries, lots of penalties, but most importantly, Newberry is fighting for a playoff spot right now. Trinity Catholic has already secured their playoff spot, and Newberry is looking to get in on senior day here right now. Second half should be really, really close. This game is back and forth. Both of these teams are dialed in and ready to go, looking to make it to the postseason. Back upstairs to you guys.
When I grow up, I want to be like Hannah.
Yeah, me too.
Hannah, thank you very much. All right, we have the 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties that were assessed. We're coming back down the field. So we'll go ahead and based on that, add the 2 points. The try for 2 would be good. Williams takes it on the run. So it'll make it 27-16 with the 2-point conversion. Not the way you trot up, but you'll take it. But again, you saw that poke in the eye again, too.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird situation. And I know you can be fired up after a big, 2-point conversion, and especially where Newberry was here in, 5 or 6 minutes ago, right? So you got to be fired up about that. But in the same breath is that you got to act like you've been there before, right? You can't be poking people in the face, can't be doing stuff, because easily could have been kicked out the game behind that, right? And when you get kicked out the game, and, you don't want to be, suspended for another half. And, a full game means you could be suspended into the next game, for the next week. And for Newberry, that means a lot.
It could be the playoffs.
Yeah, it could be the playoffs. That means a ton. So you got to be smarter when it comes to that. Keep your emotions in check. I know you're feeling good about yourself and all that good stuff, but there's still a second half left to play. And this TC offense can really get after your butt and turn it back on.
Well, that's what I'm going to ask you now. Do you think there's a chance now for, just a moment ago, it seemed like TC was going to go ahead and say, well, that's the half. Now you're down by 11 points. Do you try to do something offensively? Because if you can do that now, plus you'll get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, you need a 2-for-1 here, right? Even if it's a field goal. I mean, I think you have the ability, and I think that's what they're going to do. They have a wide open offense that can throw the ball around, but as good as Carter Schofield was early in the game, he's had 2 picks two ugly ones. One going for a touchdown, by DeAndre Alford. So you got to do a better job by if you're Carter Schofield of taking care of the football and reading and hitting the receivers, taking what the defense gives you. Right now, Newberry's put them in a precarious position by playing some zones, playing some underneaths, and they know that you're shaking up a little bit. So if you're Carter Schofield, you got to calm down, got to settle down a little bit, and lead this offense.
Cadet with the return out to the 28-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10 from there. With about 1:38 left to go here in the first half. They're going to go with a couple wide to the bottom of the set. A couple backs in the backfield as well, too. And Schofield lost the handle. He's going to hand it off to the freshman cadet. And Carter, omnipresent, go ahead and just falls on that ball back around the 26-yard line. It pops straight up in the air.
Yeah, and this is what I'm talking about. Is that this is what happens with momentum. This was Newberry, less than 20 minutes ago. Is that they were dropping the balls, they were, having some issues on offense, but all of a sudden when momentum changes her address to another team, it's not a lot you can do to calm down except for just work through it. And hopefully working through it doesn't mean that the team that you're playing goes up by a bunch of scores.
A loss of just more than one on the play. 2nd down from back at the 26-yard line now. On a long count here, and the back judge has his hands up. They'll snap it just in time. And it's Cadet with a running play. And it looks like they're going to be satisfied with calling this a half.
Once again, Randy, I don't blame them.
Stay tuned for the Bounds Heating and Air Teacher Spotlight. Bounds Heating and Air, where longevity meets integrity and service for our community. So the ball at the 29-yard line. We're under 25 seconds left to go here in the first half. And no sense of urgency at all. And it looks like that might be the last play of the first half. And that will do it as we're under 10 seconds left to go. Schofield's gone to the sidelines, in fact. And they're going to call it a half. So what a second quarter. When you look at it for Newberry, they come up with 21 points in this quarter. And Trinity Catholic with 9, a touchdown, an extra point, and a safety. So here at halftime, we stand at 27-16. So we haven't seen two teams score like this in a long time in the same contest, in the same half.
No, we haven't. But here we are, and looking forward to a really big second half by both teams.
Hannah Mack is going to try to get near Ed Johnson, the head coach of Newberry. Right now he's having a conversation with his team in a huddle. I think this is one, too, where he just wants to talk about a couple of things. First, composure, and also reminding them of what's on the line here after week number 10.
Yeah, it's the playoffs. I mean, really, it's a one-game season. And after this week, there's only a few select teams that are going to be playing football, Randy, and Newberry wants to be one of those teams, and they're doing everything here tonight to be assured that happens.
So we'll see what happens here in the second half of this contest. Hannah Mack is down on the field, and she's getting ready to talk to Ed Johnson right now. He's trying to work his way to the dugout, if you will. And in the interim, we will remind you, too, that we don't know if Newberry's going to get it in, even with the win. The odds are good, but Thursday at noon is when we'll find out when they release the ratings. Down to the sidelines we go, and Hannah standing by with head coach Ed Johnson.
Coach, joined now by Newberry head coach Ed Johnson. Coach, Hayden Moore starts the game with the kickoff return and then is able to get an 81-yard catch to the house. How much does he bring to this team, and how much momentum are you guys going to take into the second half because of him?
Yeah, that kid's so special, man. He's uber talented. We see that every single day. He's a high character kid. He works hard, and I'm happy Minnesota's getting a heck of a player.
Caleb Woods, able to break through a little bit in the second half, or in the second quarter, wasn't as active in the first quarter. How do you keep him going and get him as active as possible in the second?
Yeah, we got to be mindful to keep feeding him the rock. Our O-line's got to do a little better holding up some blocks, but he's running extremely hard. He's physical, and hopefully he can break some in the second half.
Definitely. And then finally, your defense. Get a couple picks, able to swing momentum a little bit. What did you like from them in the first half?
We're not playing well enough. We shouldn't have given up those points we did, those yards. We got to get in there on the drawing board and figure some things out. They got a really good quarterback, so it should be a fun second half.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Hannah, thank you very much. It is time now for the Pavlov Media Halftime Report. What a first half we have in week number 10. Stick around for halftime and quarters 3 and 4. 27-16 the tally in this one. We'll take a break and a reminder, this is the IBEW Local 1205 Friday Night Rivals presented by Radiant Credit Union in one place right here on My 11.
Parks Motor Group of Gainesville is proud to present the Scholar Athlete of the Week. Carter Schofield is the captain of the Trinity Catholic High School varsity football team and a 2-year starting quarterback. His team are 3-year district champions. He ran track last year, and he is also a regional javelin finalist. He was voted best quarterback in Marion County 2 years in a row. With a 3.9 grade point average, Carter is focused on his studies as well as his athletics. He was nominated for the Action Leadership Workshop and was named an ambassador at his school. He's a member of the Future Farmers of America as well as the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. In his free time, Carter trains upcoming youth quarterbacks. He's also active in his church. After graduating from Trinity Catholic, Carter will attend Southeastern University and play football. This All-Star is now entered for a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Congratulations to the Parks Motor Group of Gainesville Scholar Athlete of the Week, Carter Schofield.
On behalf of Parks Motor Group of Gainesville, congratulations on all of your hard work.
Thank you, Parks Motor Group, and my teachers and coaches and everyone. Thank you.
Joined now by Trinity Catholic Athletic Director Mike Young. Mike, how are you doing today? Doing okay? I know it might be a little bit stressful of a game for you, but how are you feeling?
Feeling good. It's been a competitive game. It's gone back and forth. Hopeful for a second half in our favor.
Definitely. Trinity Catholic, college preparatory school, not exactly your normal public school. What academic resources do you guys have there that sets up your students for success so well whenever they leave?
Well, the rigor of the education is like any Catholic school I've ever been in, and I've been in 3 really, really good ones. We offer a lot of support to all of our students in regards to after-school assistance with our teachers, tutoring, the programs that we have just to help and support them academically. Not only just our student athletes, but all of our students. It's like no other place I've ever been in 28 years of education.
Wow, 28 years. Thank you for everything that you've done in the school world. But you're also the Dean of Student Life, right? You're very involved with all of the students. How is the culture over there whenever it comes to the students? Are they very involved in not just sports, but clubs and organizations? And there's so much to offer. So how does that benefit them and help them be more well-rounded students and people?
Well, we have to be. We're 570 strong. It's anything these kids want to get involved in, they're allowed and free to pursue those things. We understand that it's a competitive college market for students across the country, and providing those opportunities for our kids to be involved in all of the organizations. The service is big, and then obviously the academic rigor just provides a well-rounded education for all of them to make it in a competitive college application process. So we're proud of that. Our students are all in. They bleed green and gold. We are TC.
You mentioned the teachers. There's a handful of AP classes that are offered at Trinity Catholic, way more than a lot of other high schools, college preparatory academies, whatever it is, not just across the state of Florida, but just in the country. Sure. How important is that for the students to have such academically rigorous classes that they can take?
Well, as a former AP teacher myself, I understand the importance of AP classes, earning college credit, the rigor of those. Like when our kids go away and they come back, I mean, they say that, being at TC, taking those courses, oftentimes is more rigorous than when they get to college. So they're prepared by our faculty who do an amazing job of just getting our kids ready for that jump.
You're also the softball coach. I see you've got your gear on right now.
Oh, yeah.
I know there's a little bit more time until we get there, but how excited are you for softball season?
I am super excited. We had a great run last year, making it to the Final Four. We lost a group of seniors that had been through it all with us, but we've got a great group coming back that have worked hard. led by a really good pitcher in the circle. And, we understand that we're no longer hunting, that in some cases we're the hunted. So it starts with the work, and so we're ready for it.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Young. I appreciate your time. All right, Newberry leads 27-16. Whenever we come back, we'll have the Newberry High School principal talk about all things Newberry High School. Be back right after the break.
Parks Motor Group of Gainesville is proud to present the Scholar Athlete of the Week. Hayden Moore plays varsity football at Newberry High School. He has a 3.6 grade point average after having maintained a 3.0 or higher GPA all 4 years of high school. In his free time, Hayden is active in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. He also mentors younger children at Oakview Middle School and volunteers at church camp. After graduating from Newberry High School, Hayden has committed to attend and play football at the University of Minnesota. He follows in the footsteps of his father, Henry Moore, who played football at Florida A&M University, and his brother, who ran track at Southern Illinois University. This All-Star is now entered for a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Congratulations to the Parks Motor Group of Gainesville Scholar Athlete of the Week, Hayden Moore.
On behalf of Parks Motor Group of Gainesville, congratulations on all of your hard work.
Just want to say thank you to all my teachers and just everybody that supported me in my academic career.
Joined now by Newberry High School Principal Jill Ashley. How you doing okay today? This game has been insane. A lot of back and forth. Newberry, though, able to pull ahead a little bit. How are you feeling?
Feeling much better now. We were really going close at the beginning, got behind for a little bit, but we're really excited to have a good half for our seniors. We're really hoping to pull out a win on this one.
Yeah, they're looking to make a playoff berth here if they're able to pull this one off here tonight. How will that be for the community that Newberry has? I mean, my dad works out here. I went to school out here. Very familiar with how close and tight-knit everyone is.
Absolutely.
How would a win on senior night at home do for this team?
It would be great. Everyone has a connection to Newberry. Everyone, since I've gotten here, I meet people all the time that worked here, went to school here, have connections here. So it's really a great thing for our community. I'm really excited for our boys to be able to make it to, we have 22 seniors on this team. So to give them continued play after tonight would be great. Hopefully extend the season for those boys.
Switching gears a little bit to more of an academic side of Newberry High School, there's a handful of programs, including the criminal justice program.
Yes.
I've known a lot of people that have been very interested in that program. It's got a lot of appeal to it. How important is that to your school, and how many students does that bring in year after year?
Well, we had our Magnet Expo on Monday night, and we had 11 different agencies come out. We had the Helicopter Land, we had Fish and Wildlife, FHP, a lot of the local departments were represented, and really a great draw for not only the Newberry area, but for outside of the area to come in for kids that are interested in law or any kind of aspect of law enforcement. And so we are expecting to have about 60 students come in this year in our magnet program. We don't always take that many, so we're really excited to be able to have a large group this year. And we've already started taking our applications, or the students that are interested in coming to Shadow, so we'll have some December Shadow days for students that are 8th graders that are looking to come here next year to get a taste of what is like to be here as a Newberry Panther. So we're really excited about having them on our campus and exploring what we have to offer in addition to our criminal justice program.
Definitely. All right, it's time to bring in Mr. Sean Graves for the IBEW Local 1205 check presentation. How are you doing today, Mr. Sean?
Great, doing good.
Nice football game that you have over here to watch.
Been a good one. A lot of action, close score, back and forth. Been a good game.
Yeah, definitely. All right, $500 for the Newberry High School. What are you guys going to use this for, and what does this mean to your academic, athletic, just your entire school in general?
Well, this gives us some money to do with things that we can't do with some of our district funds and state funds. So it gives us some more flexibility for things that we can do. We haven't earmarked this yet, but we're looking forward to having, we're really thankful for all of our donations that come in for some of those extra things that we can't necessarily use our district budget for.
All right, here we go. Whether it's criminal justice, everything that you just talked about, the Magnet Expo, there's so many resources that Newberry has, but there's also more resources that they could have. Yes. And this can definitely help move things forward. So the IBEW Local 1205 $500 check presentation. Here we go, Newberry High School. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoy the rest of the game.
Yes.
Maybe Newberry will pull off a win and get a playoff berth, but coming up in the second half, we will see if Newberry can do it. Trinity Catholic already has their playoff spot secured, so Newberry, handful of playmakers in the first half. Kickoff returns. We'll see if they can do it.
Bounds Heating and Air is proud to present the Teacher Spotlight of the Week. This week's spotlight shines on Officer Patrick Treese of Newberry High School. Officer Treese has been teaching for 21 years, and 17 of them have been at NHS. He's the director of the Newberry High School Academy of Criminal Justice, where he teaches subjects including police operations, criminal investigations, law and corrections, and 911 public safety dispatcher. Officer Treese is a military veteran who served on the United States Coast Guard. He is active in his community as a reserve police officer for the High Springs Police Department and an assistant baseball coach for Buchholz High School. In 2023, Officer Treese was named the Gainesville Area Chamber of Commerce Military Veteran Teacher of the Year. His other accomplishments include being inducted into the Florida Public Service Association Hall of Fame, being named the 10-Can Foundation Officer of the Year, and receiving the W. Travis Lofton Award for Outstanding Service to Alachua County Career and Technical Education. He was also named the Florida Public Service Association Advisor of the Year in 2013 and received the Gainesville Police Department Police Service Award that same year. In his early career, he was named the Alachua County Career and Technical Education Rookie of the Year. Officer Treese believes that today's students are tomorrow's leaders, and serving our youth is a direct investment in our future. His mission in teaching is to not only give them the proper education foundation, but also the proper tools to succeed as a productive member of society. He believes the teachers have a profound influence on the development of a child as they grow, acting as educators, mentors, coaches, and sometimes even parents. He says that it is imperative that educators take each of these roles seriously to ensure each student reaches their full potential. Officer Treese's favorite thing about teaching is the relationships he gets to build with his academy students over the 4 years they are in his program. He loves getting to watch them chase their dreams. Congratulations, Officer Treese. Teacher Spotlight is proudly brought to you by Bounds Heating and Air. Experience the highest quality of comfort. Bounds Heating and Air.
Joined now by Trinity Catholic head coach Clinton Hart. Coach, quarterback had a couple interceptions going into the locker room. What was your message to him to keep the team and him positive mindset headed in the second half?
Well, we got to play a better second half, and we got to capitalize and got to protect the ball. I mean, it's huge in a game like this. Protecting the ball is huge, and I've expressed that to him. We got to take care of the ball when we're in red zone.
Newberry, a couple big plays towards the end of the first half, gained a lot of momentum. How do you slow that down and keep your guys in this in the second half?
Well, number 4 is a good player, and we just got to do a better job of containing him and keeping him from making big plays. Obviously, he's made a few big plays already for him, and the second half we look to try to shut him down.
All right, thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Back upstairs to you guys.
Hannah, thank you very much. So, with that being said, as we start the second half, boy, what a roller coaster ride it has been when you look at it with 7-6 Trinity Catholic after one, then Newberry outscoring Trinity Catholic 21-9 in the second quarter. A little bit of everything in that second stanza. Safety, as we mentioned, touchdown pass, couple runs, interception return. That being said, 27-16. Shannon, your thoughts about the second half of this contest?
Yeah, you know, Randy, you got to be able to be. You can look at this two ways, right? If you're Trinity, if you're Trinity Catholic, you have to come back, right? You have to go into the mindset that you're going to the playoffs. All that's all great and well, but if you don't want to get the doors blown off coming in here to Newberry, Florida. If you're Newberry, you have to capitalize off of what you did in that second quarter. You played flawlessly. I mean, the defense was balling out. There was return for a touchdown and all that good stuff. So they got to be good here in the second half.
It's through the legs, and it's going to be scooped up as the Neals were back deep, and just like that, scooped up on the kick by LaHarry DeBose. Through the 5-hole, if we're playing hockey, the biscuit goes in the basket, and just like that, Newberry gets a break with no time elapsing on the clock.
Well, what I was going to say is Newberry had to capitalize, and that's exactly what they did. And sure enough, you got to pick that ball up. There's no way that you have to know that's a live ball. When that ball's kicked off, it's not like, hey, they recover it or whatever. That ball is live. You got to be able to catch that on a hop or jump on top of it, and sure enough, they didn't. TC's going back on defense, and Newberry's deep in their territory.
You call that the longest onside kick in history, huh?
I mean, goodness gracious.
How about that? So 1st and 10 now. Mark the ball already inside the 20-yard line. A short field for Kobe Johnson and company to start the second half. Already inside the Column Mattress red zone. Already up by 11. He's got Woods in the backfield. And it's Woods on the carry, cuts it to the left. He's got a gap.
Oh, boy.
He's going to take it inside the 5. And just like that, wham. The clock barely moving, and they've already got a touchdown, and they've doubled their opponents now. Another Radiant Credit Union touchdown, and just like that, it's 33-16.
I mean, 7 seconds? Cool. That sounds fun. Listen, Newberry, I think Coach Ed Johnson, you could see even some of the frustrations after that first quarter. He's like, what are you guys doing? Get it together. There's a lot on the line, Randy. And as you mentioned earlier, Newberry does not know if they're in just yet. But this game will go a long way to their seeding and getting them into the playoffs. And they said, you know what? We're turning it on, and we want to go to the playoffs. We want to keep playing extra games. We want to play into Thanksgiving season, if you will.
33-16. And now it looks like they're going to go for 2. So Johnson and company back out there. And he's rolling. Kobe is looking. He's tucking. He's keeping. And he's brought down. Ripped down back around the 13-yard line. Kobe Johnson not happy. And that's the one thing you got to do. Act like you're ahead,
Yeah, you do. You got to act like you're ahead. You can see his father and his coach pointing out, hey, listen, look up, open your eyes, look in the right corner. You see in that back right corner, you had a wide open wide receiver. And, sometimes when, you want to score yourself and you get blinded out by stuff, you have a guy open back there, you got to toss it to him.
So now it's 33-16. Caleb Woods now with 8 touchdowns on the campaign. And we'll take a break early in the second half. I'm not sure we started the second half, but apparently we have. And just like that, some 18 seconds in, it's now 33-16, the tally in this one. Bush ready to boot it, and let's see if everybody wants to return this kick. And this time it will be returned from the 16-yard line. And up across the 20 to the far side, and a nice return that's going to continue. Everybody on special teams seems to allow the returner to get about 25 or 30 yards. It's that time indeed it is. Christian Neal on the return. He's got a nice one as both Neals were back again. He learned, I guess, from the last one. But we also have a flag on the play. We got a block in the back that's going to be called. The flag's resting back inside the 22-yard line. So we had about 3 or 4 nice returns, and we had 1 or 2 that have been negated too. So we'll see what happens. All right, you're going to get the possession now on offense, we think, for Trinity Catholic. And offensively, what are you looking for Coach Cullen and his offense out there to do?
He's going to have to open it up. I mean, that's, you existed in a world to where you could run Wyatt Lucas as many times as you wanted. But that's when it was like 16-19 and they were down. Now it's, Newberry, now that they have scored multiple times in the second quarter and now to open up the third quarter, you have to open up the offense. You're going to have to play some catch-up. You're going to have to do some things that are unconventional, right? They lined up in a lot of 4 overload set, 5 wide sets, and you probably need to see some of that here now because, they're going to have to, cut the score down a little bit.
Ball is back to the 11-yard line, and Cadet gets the handoff. He's going nowhere. Interesting that we're seeing a lot of Cadet, not Wyatt Lucas.
Yeah, Wyatt Lucas, you hope you like to think that there's something, hopefully he's okay as far as health-wise and all that good stuff, but haven't really seen him since that second quarter.
Trying to look across the field right now. Look at the 49-yard line. There's a guy that's been blocked off there. I'm not sure who that is. It's numbered the 20s, but we haven't seen much of him since then. So we're going to mark the ball back with a loss on the play inside the 10-yard line. So now we'll see what happens on a second down and long. Is it time for Schofield Company to try to put it up?
Yeah, I think so, Randy. I think you have to be able to, you're going to have to throw the ball. It just, you know, I don't think there's enough time left for you to cut down a 3-score lead at this point in the game without checking the ball around a little bit.
And there's the toss, breaks one tackle, up the sidelines he goes. Did he step out? It goes to, now we were told Joey DeRusso, I said, was not going to be playing tonight, but that's number 10 out there making a catch.
Well, maybe maybe a 33-16 lead changes some things, right? Maybe you're like, hey, I need my playmaker going. And
well, I'm thinking somebody else is wearing that number because he was injured against O'Galley and supposedly out for the year.
Well, then he's definitely.
We'll see. And by the way, I see Wyatt Lucas out near midfield, and he was rubbing his right knee. So it is enough for a first down out to the 24-yard line. And they'll keep it on the ground, and there is nothing there. Boy, you try to go outside, and they're just going to pinch you and tell you can't go anywhere. Cadet that time tried to turn the corner. Luke Bennett and company are there to help make the hit. So now it's going to be second down, but I'm going to put the glasses again on. Big number 29 on the long side of the field, and there he is. I think that's him over there. He was there. If you can take a look at the 49-yard line, you see a guy kind of grabbing his right leg.
Yeah, he sure is. And once again, we haven't seen him in this half. We hadn't seen him until early in the second half. So maybe we can get a sideline report down there and see what's going on with him.
9:21 left to go.
And listen, I'm not, thrilled about, I'm not thrilled about Trinity Catholic's playing right now. I know you can see him right there. There's Wyatt Lucas. He's kind of, maybe it's a hamstring. He's stretching that thing out over there. It's a little bit tight, and it's almost like he's been standing over there since the second quarter. So maybe it's a better safe than sorry, right? They're going to need him in the playoffs, in the Florida High School Athletic Association playoffs. So I mean, maybe you run a couple other guys out there. This game means a lot, but it definitely doesn't mean anything when it comes to that you're already in.
Across the middle, and it falls incomplete. Good coverage on the play by big number 25 for Newberry, and that is DeAndre Alford, who's already got a pick for a touchdown. So with that being said, it'll set up a fourth down situation, but you're right. They're guaranteed to make the playoffs. They're 1-0 in their district, so why play them right now? You'd like to get the victory, obviously, but.
Yeah, I mean, for me speaking, I'm not under no certain terms is Trinity Catholic letting this game go. But I do think that one of your best players needs to be almost like a national treasure. It means he needs to be treasured until he gets to the games that really, hey, it's win or go home.
Andrew Leonard with the punt, and I think we had a whistle stop things before the play, and we did. We had a false start on the offense. So mark it back 5. We'll do it again.
And this offense isn't as explosive as we saw them in that first quarter, Randy. We saw them, line up in that 4 jumbo set and chuck the ball around a little bit. We saw them line up in 5 wide set and let it rip a little bit. But we haven't really seen it since that time, and it's been a different offense.
Well, I tell you what, appropriately enough, we've got a Twilight Zone kind of game here in Halloween. All we're missing right now is Rod Serling to MC this thing because it's been a unique game of ups and downs. There's a punt by Leonard, and it's caught at the 47 across midfield. There's a nice gap near side, and down the sidelines he goes, and nice cutback that time. And did he step out on the return that time is Hernando Garvin. So Garvin with a nice return, and again for the second time in this quarter, and we're early in this campaign, we have a short field for Newberry with 8:17 left to go. And again, Garvin, just a youngster back there with a nice job on the return, and the freshman has him in scoring position again inside the 30-yard line.
I mean,
We'll take a break right here on My 11. Oh, it is that time. It's time to raise the roof with Mission Metals. Yep, Mission Metals, your trusted hometown metal roofing and metal building supplier right here on Friday Night Rivals. Good times had on senior night here. Were you ever the king? When they,
I was.
You really?
I was the prom king, and I was the homecoming king.
Holy cow.
Doubled up.
Of course, who's going to tell you no, right?
Yeah,
Exactly. I had to threaten some lies around there, so it is what it is.
Inside the 29-yard line, 1st and 10 for Johnson and company, who's looking left and dumping underneath, little screen pass. And going back the other way is Woods, and Caleb inside the 20, inside the 15, spins to the 10, does a 720, and gets it all the way down inside the 7-yard line for 1st and goal.
Man, Caleb Woods has really turned on the juice since the second quarter. You know, we saw maybe only one carry from him, and we were like, hey, you know, is this you know, the Trinity Catholic defense like geared to slow him down tonight? But he's done everything. And when I say everything, he's done literally everything on the ground, through the air, with the screen passes. Just been a really masterful performance by Woods tonight.
Picks up 22, 1st and goal now inside the Color Matches Superstore red zone again. And Caleb Woods off the right side, and this time Poole helps slow him down. He was the first guy there to make the charge, and came in able to slow it down and get some help and knock him down. That's the first big play they played here in the second half. Just seems like parts of this third quarter are in slow motion.
They do, Randy. It's almost like one team got a halftime talk and the other team kind of was like, all right, well, we're here. We're going to go through the motions, and you can probably guess which one is which. But at the end of the day, Newberry's doing what Newberry needs to do to get what Newberry needs to get done handled. So that's just what it is.
2nd and goal from the 7-yard line. Woods the deep back for Johnson, and a good look. You're in the secondary right now. Into the eyes of the senior quarterback for Newberry. Good. Kobe rolls. Kobe tucks. Kobe is going to take it near the goal line. Does he break the play?
That looks like a touchdown.
Takes it in for the score.
Man, he wanted that one. I mean, obviously on the option run, he had the option to pitch that out there, and Caleb Woods was out there ready to take that, but he wanted this one. He wanted to score ever since that second quarter. So he finally got in, got himself in the touchdown, and they're an extra point away from a 40-burger.
What did I say? First one to 40 wins, right?
First one to 40 wins. And I think if the score if the score holds, Newberry's walking out of here with the win.
And Bush for the extra point. Snap, kick, and it is up, and the kick is good. So make it 40-16. I mean, this has been something else as Bush makes the extra point, and what a turnaround from what we saw earlier in this contest. Yeah, you don't forget, by the way, Shannon, during the 4th quarter of tonight's game, we'll be selecting the IBEW Local 1205 Player of the Game. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 1205, powering a brighter future.
Yeah, you see what has happened, and you know, there's maybe a leader in the clubhouse right there. We talked about Caleb Woods, and when I say Caleb Woods does what Caleb Woods does, you know, this kid, Brandon, we've watched this young man for 4 years, 4 straight years, and he's grown up in this offense as a freshman. You know, we saw the prowess, we saw the ability for him and what that meant under this program. And you know what? It probably couldn't have happened under a better coach than Coach Ed Johnson, who's done a fantastic job with this football team and bringing in the pieces around him. So if you're Newberry, if you're Caleb Johnson, you know, it's a great place. It's a great place to be developed, and they're really showing it here tonight on the football field.
Can you explain what it's like to be a 4-year starter for some of these kids? I mean, it's hard to believe, you know, you're competing against juniors and seniors, and some of these kids are like 14 or 15 years old.
Absolutely. And, you know, for him, it's the experience, and also what he did as a freshman, got a lot of playing time. You could tell talent from freshmen when you first see them, and then you see them as a sophomore, and then they become a problem. And now as a senior on senior night, he's doing such a phenomenal job and has really built on a really good season.
Neal with a nice return near side across the 40. Wow, he is spun around, and we got a flag down on the 41-yard line on the return that time by Michael Neal. You know, we talked about it before. Some of these guys that are so young, they can't drive a car, but they can drive the team down the field.
Crazy, right? and here we go. Like, it's so fun. You never know how much, and we got to give so much credit to our sponsors and give credit to the people that make this programming possible, because, Randy, you and I get to sit up here and watch these young men grow and play, and like, this is fun. You get to watch and have fun with these guys and get to watch the truest form of football, which is high school football, for me at least.
Michael Neal with this turn that's going to be coming back as he makes the cut right there, and a nice return, but then spun around, and again we had a holding call on the play, so we're going to move the ball back inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. And again, we're seeing a lot of the freshman running back out there for the Celtics and Amont Cadet. Schofield back to throw, looks to his right, guns, pass is.
Oh, boy.
He nearly had another pick, and that is DeAndre Alford, who's had one pick for a touchdown and nearly had two others.
Oh, that was going to the house. Like he bobbled it like 2 or 3 times. Like he had it right there in his hands. You're going to watch him. And he's going to step. He read the eyes of the quarterback, Schofield, steps right in the way, bats one up in his hands.
Off his helmet.
There's nobody. Nobody there. There's one blocker right there. Or I'm sorry, 3 blockers, 1 guy in his path to the end zone, and nobody's touching him.
Apparently DeAndre thinks it's sophomore night, not senior night.
Good gracious.
2nd down and 10. Schofield, the keeper this time, is going to take it up to the 35-yard line. Well, that's another guy you got to protect. And Carter Schofield with the playoffs coming up. You don't want to get him, too banged up with the playoffs just around the corner, but he may be the most effective runner right now.
I mean, that comes into play, right? When is enough, for a guy that you're like, hey, you never want to say a game's out of reach. They're down 24 points, so there's obviously a possibility for them to come back. But Newberry puts another one on the board, and TC doesn't score. It's like, do you think about pulling them and just say, hey, listen, it's not our night. We got another shot again next week.
3rd down and just less than 4. Pressure's on, looking, and dumps it to the far side. Incomplete. It hops in there, so it'll be 4th down. And, the backup quarterback, by the way, for the Celtics is Aiden Gillings-Wright, who is a 6'3", 190-pound freshman.
Such young talent on this football team, and that's really what it's about having programs that don't necessarily have to rebuild. They just reload. About having that talent in the pipeline, whether it be in JV or those freshmen that are able and willing. And we've seen it so many places. Buchholz being one of them, where they don't really let down; they just reload, and they're trying to do the same thing here.
4th and 4, and it looks like they're going to go for it from the 36-yard line.
All right.
Schofield straight back to throw, needs 4, and he's going for everything downfield, and the pass incomplete, but the hankies are tossed, and I think the drive will stay alive.
What? Yeah, you wouldn't figure the ref's going to call that one. I didn't see anything egregious over there in a pass interference, but I guess he did.
We'll take a look one more time as Carter goes. A little pressure from the outside, and there's
some holding going on out there. I mean,
the left arm was barred up. And remember, in high school, it's not the same as college or pro. If there's contact, it can be called. And there's no such thing as an uncatchable ball in high school football. You could throw it 70 miles over a player's head, and it's not considered uncatchable in high school football. Just like there's no such thing as a lateral in high school football. It's either a forward pass or backward pass.
Huh.
And if it's close, the discretion normally goes to a forward pass.
There's no replay system, so I can understand that.
So 1st down now is across midfield to the 48-yard line now of the Panthers. And Schofield again on the keeper. Going to bounce it outside and get about 4 on the play down to the 44-yard line.
And they're still moving it along, and you got to give them some credit here for that. I mean, you're down 24, 5 minutes and 20 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter, and you're still fighting along, trying to be able to win this football game here tonight.
We'll call this another beverage timeout, and we'll take it with just over 5 minutes left to go here in the 3rd quarter. As they make a pause for the cause, we will too. 40-16, the tally in this one. It's been an exciting game in week number 10. Stick around for more right here on MyTV. So Carter, Schofield, and company moving that ball down the field across the 50 down to the 44-yard line, and a 2nd down awaits from there. They have to get the ball past the 38 to keep it going. And right now, he's been their most effective runner in his 2nd half with the loss of Wyatt Lucas to the sidelines. And a pump fake and nothing there to look at. Here comes Bennett chasing him, so he'll dump underneath, and the pass bounces in. It's short, intended on the play for Christian Neal.
Yeah, that's one thing that's been really good for if you're Newberry tonight is their pass defense, right? They've been able to get a lot of rushes, and Carter Schofield, as what he's done has been good on some plays, and some plays he's just been under pressure. He's thrown some picks. He's thrown a couple close to picks. He's had some success, but I think that Newberry defensive line has really harassed him all night into making some questionable decisions.
Yeah, they've been able to jump a couple of the routes, too. So hats off to Coach Green, the defensive coordinator, too, with that base 4-3 that they run out of. They play strong and, weak side, too. And they've been just able, as we said, to pinch it inside and prevent him from getting outside after that first quarter. Schofield straight back to throw. And, again, they pinch to the inside. Tries to dump underneath. Has his man. Pass is complete. Nice move to the outside there. And taking the turn is Jenkins. And Jenkins will get it down to around the 25-yard line. And that's enough for another first down. Yeah, they don't think it's over.
No, they don't. It's throwing and catching. That's what it's all about. And, they're going to line up in this shotgun formation. They're going to get back there and start chucking it around. You've got 4 minutes left in the third quarter, and your run game's not really going to be a thing at this point. Now, can you get 4 scores or 3 scores here in the next, 16 minutes? Sure, 100%. So I think they're doing everything that they possibly need. Carter Schofield just cannot turn the ball over.
And he'll just veer up across the middle, slightly to the left, and get a nice gain there for about 5. Well, that's the thing, too. I mean, I think you just have to take it one drive at a time, one score at a time, and not really try to look at that scoreboard. Look at the clock maybe, but not the scoreboard.
Right. And I don't think for all intents and purposes, Randy, that Trinity Catholic has figured out how to slow down that Newberry offense ever since like the second quarter on. So, they're thinking about that now. I mean, they can score points here, but if they don't come up with a stop, it's going to be all for naught.
Second down and 5 for Schofield and company. Looks in the corner, looking for Leonard down by the goal line. The pass just a little strong, incomplete. And got a flag after the play. Again, little conversation leads to a lot of contact.
Well, wonder if it's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct here.
And the flag resting near the 30-yard line, and we have a unsportsmanlike conduct. Indeed is the call. It's going to be on the Celtics.
Wow.
That's the last thing you needed right now. Take a look one more time, and there's the out. Got a man open underneath, and he was calling for the ball, but he looked for Leonard down by the 2-yard line. And, that pass is pretty high because Leonard is a guy that stands about 6'4".
Yeah, he is. He chucked that up there to him clearly, and wanted him to come down with it. And sometimes down here you got to throw a little bit of a jump ball. When you get one-on-one coverage with a guy that's 6'4", you certainly hope that he can out-jump and outreach that. So wasn't able to right there, but the unsportsmanlike conduct was going to put him behind the sticks a little bit here.
Marking back to the 34-yard line. They need to get the ball all the way down to the 15, so they need about 19 yards. Leonard now splits out to the top. He's looking to see where he's supposed to go. And I think they may have to burn a timeout. Yep. They may have 12. May have had 12 on the field. So Leonard was kind of splitting out, trying to figure out what to do, and then exited stage right. And the back judge already had his hand in the air, so the count was less than 5. So they opted to burn a timeout instead of taking another penalty. So they'll take it with just over 3 minutes left to go here in quarter number 3, and they're down by 24 points. You mentioned 3 scores. Was 3 scores and 3 2-point conversions. So
yeah,
you got to be perfect to do that. So I think realistically, you're looking at 4 scores to get back into this.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if they can pull it off because stranger things have happened especially on Halloween. So,
and I want to remind you that during the 4th quarter of tonight's game, we will be highlighting something special. It is the school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out. The red lights are flashing. That is paid for by NHTSA. So that's coming up in the 4th quarter for the school bus stop of the game. We've had a few of those.
Yeah, we have. More recently than on Newberry side, right? But there's been some on both sides, so can't wait to see what that's going to be. And more importantly, we see if Newberry can come up with a big stop here.
Hats off to Ed Johnson, too. He's done a great job in his 7 years. 42-year-old head coach, former DB when he played at Newberry. 3rd down and long. Schofield hits Bennett again in his wheelhouse. Looking, waiting, trying to spin away. Lost the football. It's free, and it's scooped up along the far side.
Oh, boy.
I'll tell you what. Bennett and company have been all over the place, and a great job by big number 8 to kind of seal the deal in Isaiah Johnson.
I told it when it rains, it pours. I said the one thing that cannot happen
is Carter Schofield turning over the football. And this is his third turnover on the night that just – if you're keeping count, Newberry is up 3 scores. I mean, they have led almost directly to Newberry points, if you will, and, just not a great feeling if you're Carter Schofield, but you got to be feeling dang good if you're that Newberry defense who really hasn't allowed anything here in the second half.
Isaiah Johnson, just a junior, 15 solos, 32 assists for that weak side outside linebacker, comes up with a big play. And Kobe Johnson and company with the ball one more time, this time at the 48-yard line with just over 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter. 8 feeling great right now. One back in the backfield now for Kobe. You kind of look at his size, and you realize when you see him next to somebody else, Kobe is indeed no more than about 5'8".
Oh yeah, I mean that's on a good day, but he's got a big impact and he's explosive, and that's what you want out of a quarterback.
Running tall right now and putting the ball out as he crosses the sidelines. Under 3 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. So it'll be second down and short, market 2nd and 3. We talked about Ed Johnson too, 2001 grad of Newberry and was the head basketball coach, was offered the football job and took that and gave up the basketball job. He's also been the head softball coach. I mean, he does everything he can for the student athletes here at Newberry High School.
He does. He really does care about the community. He cares about these guys on his football team. He really, I've gotten the pleasure to know Ed for, the last 7 years that he's been here, and just every day he's been, a pleasure to talk to him. And it's just, he's one of those guys that is fully vested into, making football here in North Central Florida great.
Second down and 3, and they do the scoop across this time, and it goes to Keandre Williams, who's going to get the first down inside the 40-yard line. And I have to say this, too. He is probably the most cooperative and prepared coach whenever I go to do our interviews, too, because he's always got what I need. And, I was into a pattern for 40 years in a different state of how I like to do things. And Ed kind of picked that up almost immediately, too. There are a lot of coaches that, still look at us like the outsiders.
That's true.
We do these games, or are you a spy for the other school? Well, none of that is true. So hopefully we establish that tradition here with Friday Night Rivals that, we're here for the long run, and we're here to focus on the community and the scholar athletes and student athletes that we have. Under 2 left to go third quarter. 1st and 10 market at the 39-yard line now of the Celtics. And it's a quick pop. Pass goes out to Wilcox. He's got a nice little move down the sidelines. And there's a guy you're going to hear from in the future, because Zayden, who wears 0, which seems appropriate, is just a freshman, too. In fact, he started at quarterback when Kobe Johnson was injured earlier this season. Against Keystone Heights, had a good game with 3 catches for 64 yards. And against Santa Fe, 10 catches for 85 yards and a touchdown.
I mean, you just got to love the fact of just all the experienced playmakers that are on this offense. And, with Newberry, and we can also say the same thing about Trinity Catholic, is that they have big-time playmakers. And, Randy, now that we're starting to approach the playoff season, that's coming abound a little bit, the best of the best are going to come to the top, and I'm excited to see how that plays out.
Second down and 1 now from the 30. Woods not going to do it. This time he's wrestled down, and they just kind of sit next to each other as Cayman Poole from a linebacking slot comes through.
And that's one of the few runs here in the second half that we've seen Caleb Woods get knocked for a loss of yardage. And nice job by Poole, able to kind of shoot that gap and get to Caleb before you even got up in the into that secondary.
And let's salute the offensive line, too, with Ja'Kai Dawson, who's a 4-year starter. Then next to him, Makari Mills, who is a sophomore. And Nicholas Yancey, who stabilized things at center as a sophomore. Keandrick Boykin, who's a senior. And Elijah Scott, 6 foot, 240, and a junior. So you got 3 of those guys slated to come back next season.
Well, I said in the beginning of this telecast, let them eat, right? And we're talking about the offensive line. Let them eat. And sure enough, tonight, whether it be pancakes or
barbecue,
or barbecue. Thank you, Randy, for you knew what I was thinking.
Yeah, baby.
They really have kicked some butt here tonight.
Whoops. I'm not sure what's going on there. It was actually out the hand of Woods, and then Johnson had to cover it. I don't know if that was going to be a direct snap to him or if the snap was just off. After I compliment the offensive line, something like that happens. So now that's going to set up a 4th down. Under 30 ticks left to go here in quarter number 3.
It's almost like you need to knock on wood before we say some of this stuff, because that was almost too cryptic right there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And I think with that being said, they're just going to say we'll wait and punt the ball in the 4th quarter, going in the opposite direction. Good pursuit that time for the defense to come through to make sure nothing happened as Jake Rudione was there to help make the hit on the play. And that will effectively end quarter number 3. It's been all Newberry in this third quarter, adding to their lead. They're up by 24 as we head to the final quarter of our final game this season on the IBEW Local 1205 Friday Night Rivals, presented by Radiant Credit Union on My 11.
This is the school bus stop of the game, presented by NHTSA. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
It's time now for the school bus stop of the game. And there it is. The bus does not stop. I'm not talking about Mr. Bettis. I'm talking about big number 25, and that is DeAndre Alford, who takes it 73 yards on the interception return for a touchdown.
To the house. Fantastic job for 6.
And while you were gone, we had a punt on the change over, and it'll go back to Trinity Catholic now. And that is your stop of the game, and our thanks to NHTSA for their support of that. Thanks to all the sponsors this season. You kind of touched on it, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everybody's been fabulous. The IBEW's had a presence every contest. Parks Motor Group and Avery Tucker. She has been outstanding with the presentation to the scholar athletes every week. You know, a couple weeks in, I said, let's just give her the mic. She can handle this, and she's been outstanding ever since. So we're not needed anymore.
You're absolutely right. I mean, fantastic job by our sponsors. You guys that make the world go round for some of these young student athletes, and give the people at home the ability to. I feel kind of cool, right? It's almost like they look forward to it when we come, right?
Exactly.
Oh, well, not me, but you, because when they see you, I'm kind of like your sidekick here. But they always, it's a pleasure to watch for these guys to say, "Oh, are you guys coming to our game this week?" Or we get to play on TV this week. So really shout out to our sponsors for everything that they do and really bringing football to North Central Florida.
Cadet picks up 3 on first down, second down and 7. And we have a new quarterback in there. And a quick pop to the flat, and it is complete. It'll be a nice gain on the play for, we assume, is Theriso. But again, it is Aiden Gillings-Wright, the freshman that we talked about, and now at quarterback, 6'3" and 190, and a freshman, that guy is, that you're looking at on your screen right now. 9 of 18 passing, 154 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. He's carried it 10 times for 83 yards and a long of 20. He's lost 1 fumble, hit 5 carries for 50 yards against P.K. Young. We have stats on everybody.
Yeah, how's this guy a freshman?
Cadet. Freshman hands off to freshman.
Good gosh. Freshman hands off to freshman, and freshman gets destroyed. I mean, come on. I mean,
guess who? It's Mr. Alford.
Listen, if Caleb Woods, you talk about, one of our players of the games. Should we be putting, DeAndre Alford in this conversation?
Either that or put a stop bar like a bus.
Yeah, I mean,
fling out every time he hits somebody.
Good gracious.
Second down. And Cadet, looked like they were going for the football that time. He's going to get out to just over the 30 to the 31-yard line.
And that's DeAndre Alford again. I'm telling you, the way he's been playing tonight has been unbelievable. Like, he's got a pick. Should have had 2 more, right? He has a couple tackles for a loss. I mean, he's been all around the ball tonight, really harassing defenders. Like, this young man, only a sophomore, you say?
Only a sophomore.
I mean, good gosh. I mean, it's going to be a problem. and
a nice problem.
A great problem for Ed Johnson to have this kid for the next few years.
3rd and 11. Rolling left, he looks, and the freshman tosses downfield. Nice pass. It's complete. He kind of pushed it, but it was effective as he found Jenkins, and Millie's got the ball out to around the 44-yard line, very near the sticks, and I think it's just enough for the first down. Another UF Health first down.
And you can see what's going on right now. They're going to continue to move the ball, right? They're not taking them big shots or whatever, but there's something you can gain from here at the end of the game. 9 minutes and 30 seconds left in the regular season of 2025. There's something to be said about what you can do in this ball, moving this ball around. You've got to prepare your playoffs. Your backup quarterback's getting some play time. That's all good things.
Neal was in the backfield that time, but it's the quarterback and the keeper. Gillings-Wright, and he gets up to the line of scrimmage and maybe a half yard, and that's it. But again, we're thanking the sponsors, but thanks to L2 Productions for the great job too.
Sure, absolutely.
Our fearless producer tonight, who wore a mask in the truck because he's that dedicated to Halloween. We thank David for all that he has done tonight to lead us through week number 10, and it's been a lot of fun, especially with the Halloween flavor here tonight.
Yeah, David tonight, right? I just had some great producers. David, and then Dustin, who's produced a lot this season. You got Ben running around here being like the superhero. we're talking about with Halloween superhero with the cape on. I don't know which one you want to give him.
Yeah,
man,
I like
something.
that.
Yeah, something. But
Darius DeBose on the hit at that time too. Well, that's the thing. The entire crew's done a great job. I've done play-by-play with you for 4 games. I have a different producer every single game.
It's crazy, right?
Nobody likes me. They work with me once and they say, "Uh-oh."
And the funny thing, Randy, is it gets better every time.
Oh, thanks for lying. I appreciate that. 3rd down. Time to put it up again with the freshman quarterback. We'll see. Neal in the backfield with him. High snap, but he fields that nicely and guns it across the middle, and it's intercepted. Right into the breadbasket that time. Big number 14, Hernando Garvin, who, by the way, is just a freshman.
It seems to be very much a theme tonight. The horror story for TC as the freshman and the sophomore from that Newberry defense is just picking and taking balls away from them.
Well, the tricks have been no treat for them tonight, I'll tell you that. So with that being said, we're going to turn it over at the 41-yard line. And with that being said, we'll take a break. Late moments of week number 10. It is 40-16 right here in one place on My 11. A little abracadabra in the background from the Steve Miller Band. Welcome back, Randy Reinhardt, Shannon Snell, and the legendary Hannah Mack. And all these fans enjoying the frosty temperatures on a trick-or-treat night. You have your choice between candy or this sweet, and obviously football reigns, unless you're under the age of 12. Quick pop, it goes to Moore, and he's got some blockers, and he's got some room, and he's got the legs, and he's inside the 45, all the way down to the 42 before he's pushed back on the play.
Man, hey Randy, while I absolutely love Hayden Moore, I don't know if he needs to be in the game right now. You're up 24 points, and, I'm pulling him off the field. I just don't know if I need him on the field because I've seen this story before, and something happens, and let's say, all thing goes to plan, and they're in the playoffs next week.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
You need that guy. You need him.
Well, we've seen some of the other big guns already leave the field, so we'll see what happens here. It's another GFL first down. I want to tip the cap, too, to Clint Hart, the first year, if you will, head coach, Trinity Catholic, played 8 years in the NFL for the Chargers and the Eagles and the Rams. And defensive coordinator at Ocala Christian in 2017. He was on the board to help pick the new coach at Trinity Catholic, and they loved his input so much they said, instead of looking for the coach, why don't you be the coach? So that's what happened. He's had some great coaches, he told me, in his life. Inman Sherman at South Sumter, Tim Markham of the Tampa Bay Storm, and I actually met him when he played then because I was doing play-by-play for arena football as well, too, back then. Also, Andy Reid with Philadelphia, and he said his favorite coach of all time, Marty Schottenheimer.
Go figure.
He said he was his best one, along with Coach Sherman. So he was drafted by the Anaheim Angels in 2000, played 2 years in arena football, but ironically, 2 years in NFL Europe, played college baseball at Central Florida, but did not play football.
He's done a lot.
Yeah. In his NFL career, 264 solo tackles, 77 assists, 9 tackles for a loss, 10 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. His brother's Keanu O'Neal, played with UF and, of course, was drafted by the Atlanta Falcons. And then it was first down. And we got a new quarterback in there. And it's big number 8. I think it's Isaiah Johnson, the quarterback now. Or it could be the aforementioned freshman number 0. And it is. Mr. Wilcox is the backup quarterback. So he gets a chance to carry the ball some. So the youngsters are getting a chance to see some action here.
Yep, and we're winding down the 2025 season, Randy. And, I'm kind of curious. What's been your favorite game this season?
It's going to sound strange. Game number 1 of the season.
Game number 1.
36-35.
Man, that was a
victory over
barn burner.
And John Adams says, just put it on my back and I'll carry you.
That guy was unbelievable. I can't wait to see what they do in the
big playoffs. Gap this time, and that's Wibberley, who's got a nice gain right up the gut inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Well, he got hit right at the 5-yard line on the try for 2 in the backfield and carried, 3 or 4 guys into the end zone for the 2-point conversion.
It was unbelievable. I think we picked the same game just because we thought it was over when he got hit, and then he was able to drive his legs and drive 3 or 4 guys into that end zone. It was like, man, it couldn't have been a better ending for that Chiefland football team.
So basically what we're saying is we crescendoed in week 1. It's been all downhill ever since.
Which has been a great thing because we've seen some great games
we have indeed.
over the course of this football season.
1st and 10 now from the 28-yard line for Wilcox and company. The one back in the backfield again is Wimberly. And Wimberly's got it. He's got the speed. Now watch him go the other direction. He is good on that. He can find something to the opposite side. I don't know if you can do that very much on the next level, but on this level, if he sees nothing, he can turn on a dime and go the opposite way. That's one of the things they like about him. He's the complement to Woods. While Woods is strong between the tackles, he can dance outside. But we have a holding call, so it's all for naught.
Well, he has some just absolutely stupid speed, and that's that acceleration button where not a lot of people have that. A lot of people have speed. You see that acceleration where he can take those first 5 or 6 steps and be away from somebody in a 2 or 3 yard radius. So, I mean, that's you can't really teach that.
And it is time for a little more water. With that being said, we'll take a look and tell you that just over 5 minutes left to go in this contest in week number 10. It's been a pleasure doing these games all season with you here. And we'll take one more break, and we will come back and give the conclusion of week number 10. What a season it's been in one place, on our favorite place. That is My 11 in Gainesville. Time now to pick our IBEW Local 1205 player of the game. And we don't see the Forest, but we see the Woods. And I'll tell you what, they didn't see Caleb very much because many times he was already in the secondary before they picked him up. And this is a guy that just had a great performance in this contest, scored in the second quarter, scored in the third quarter. Big statement in the third when they really opened up the larger cushion. So congratulations to Caleb Woods, who gets the nod as the IBEW Local 1205 player of the game.
Love it. It was my pick before the game. It's my pick during the game. It's my pick after the game. He is the guy that on senior night against a Trinity Catholic school who's pretty good, that really took over when he needed to, and I'm just so proud to watch that young man and watch what he did in this program.
Wilcox guns it downfield, and the pass is incomplete, but we got a hanky on the play at the 15-yard line.
And you know, the good news about this game tonight, Randy, is that both teams learned a little something from it, right? You obviously can guess that both teams might probably end up going on along to the playoffs, and both teams have things that they hit on when they needed to. For Trinity Catholic is that, hey, you had some opportunities, right? And you hope, and for all sakes, that Wyatt Lucas is okay, and that knee or hamstring or whatever was going on in the second half with him is going to be good, because they're going to need him for the playoffs. But there's some stuff to gain on from them. And if you're Newberry, you're building on to, what's been somewhat of a tough road this season. And it's not because they played bad. It's just that the competition, the level of competition Newberry has played this season, it is a majority of playoff teams, Randy. I know you're kind of a historian buff, but if you read that schedule, you know it was tough.
Their opponents are 37-8 so far this season.
Ooh, good gracious. That is a tough schedule. I mean, a lot of times, some teams around the county will face somebody with 8 losses on their schedule. That was 8.
Oh, my goodness. That one goes over the shoulder, Wilcox, and it's covered up back around the 45-yard line. Yeah, in fact, when you look at it, they have held their opponents to 13 points or less in their other wins this season. Now, this one will be different because they're at 16, but they lost to Hawthorne, to Vanguard, as you look at the replay one more time, to Bradford, and Williston. Williston, they actually led 14-0 at the half, of course, 3 first-half turnovers. And then in the second half, Williston came back, went for 2, sounds familiar, and they got the win in that contest. So you combine it to those teams they lost to, they are a grand total of 37-8. We've seen Hawthorne, we've seen Vanguard this season, and we've seen Williston.
Randy, all those teams will be favorites to head to the state championship game once they get into the playoffs. So if you're Newberry and you get in, you will see some of those teams again. 1 or 2 of them, maybe even a Hawthorne. And I think they'll be very, very well prepared this time around.
And they'll keep it on the ground. Wimberly, DeMarcus trying to find an opening. And I tell you what, nothing there, but he's got the best looking shoes on the field. I'll tell you that. I just caught those, and he can turn off the lights and those glow.
Well, somebody's going to catch him some way. I mean, if they can even get a hold of him, that guy's so fast. But this is the cool thing about this whole game, Randy, is that what I really love is like during this month where we get to see the pink shoes and we see the green shoes and we see a lot of stuff. Pink, obviously, for breast cancer awareness, which, you know, one more day left in October. Feels like the month has flown by. But now we're getting into that true November football, which I'm really excited about.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and I tell you what, you know, it's been an interesting campaign. We've had some great games this season. We've had some that were not that close, but to see the student athletes and the scholar athletes, and to hear so many things about young people, how bad they are at this and that, unless you're in the schools and you taste it every day, you have no idea how great some of these kids are.
Oh, absolutely.
Wilcox rolling, looking, dumping underneath. Pass is incomplete. Let's go down to the sidelines, and Hannah Mack is standing by with an injury update.
Yep, ready to go. Newberry is now less than 3 minutes away from securing a win over Trinity Catholic. They will have a playoff berth and continue their run into the postseason. Now, a few minutes ago, their quarterback, number 11, Kobe Johnson, did go down with an injury behind the line of scrimmage. He limped over to the sideline, went down again. They did take him back to the locker room just for precautionary measures. As soon as we have more details, we will let you know. But right now, he's back in the locker room, just being looked at, taken care of. But Newberry will definitely hope to have him as they enter the postseason and try to make a playoff run.
All right, it's a fourth down situation. Hannah, thank you so much for your insights tonight. Hopefully we'll hear more from Hannah in the near future.
But Kobe Johnson in the locker room is just precautionary. Might something to be.
Oh, boy. Never want to dive forward for the football. Never want to dive, period, on a kick like that, trying to get it. And they'll unsort the scrum and let us know who's got the ball at the bottom of that pile with just about 2.5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Well, I don't know if I should open a can of worms now, but I will. But we've looked all season now on the college level and the pro level and the high school level. And the whole topic of NIL. I don't know if you've talked to a lot of the high school athletes, but I talked to 10 select athletes. I'm not going to name them. 8 of them are not real thrilled with NIL. They feel there's a lot of pressure on them now in that new world and new environment, you know, to deal with something like that. And it kind of shocked me because I thought they'd say, oh, this is a great opportunity. But sometimes it's nice to let kids be kids still, you know?
You know, Randy, it's become such a big business with, you know, not only you know, high school sports and college sports, but now you're talking about, you know, these guys making so much money. And there's two sides to that story. One is that for so long there was people in places making so much money off of these student athletes, and now they have the ability to do it. Now, with all that pressure comes the fact that if you're getting paid a lot, you got to perform. And as a, you know, 16, 17, 18-year-old young man or young woman athlete, that is a lot of pressure, right? A lot of pressure that you don't necessarily are ready for until it actually hits you right in the face.
False start calling the offense, and that domino theory gets more exponential for the coaches now too. We've seen what happens on the college level. Well, we've put some money into this for you, and this is the best that you can do. You're out the door. So we've seen that at college level. The LSU situation is really interesting. And the governor comes on and says, no, the AD is not going to make the next selection. Yeah. Well, we got an answer why, because the AD was gone the very next day at LSU.
Yeah, that was almost like a pre-gone conclusion. It's like, if I'm an AD, I'm like, what do you mean I can't make it? Oh, they're like, oh, by the way, you should come see me in my office on Monday. And, you know, and that's what happens is that with all that, you know, the visions and, you know, with the NIL, even teams that have never been in the conversation for the college football playoff now have to be, because there's a new way to recruit people and a new way that you can get talent.
Pass is complete, and it goes up to the 29-yard line. Well, and that's the thing, too. There's so much going on each level that, especially as a high school athlete, that you have to be concerned about, you know, getting the grades and everything like that.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to see professional athletes who can't handle money, and you're trying to get that trickle-down effect to everybody. You know, I'm all for democracy, but sometimes you got to let kids grow first, too.
But I kind of like it. Is that when I first had my first taste of money, Randy, real money, it was in the NFL. Some of these kids nowadays are now being previewed to how you manage it, taxes, and things that go along with it. So it is kind of an educational program, too.
A jump ball at the 42-yard line, intended on the play for Joshua Taylor, and coverage by LaMarquise Davis, and flags galore. Take your pick. If I had one, I'd throw one too.
Why they were going wild for him, and it seems like he got in and made a play right there, and the refs wanted to ruin the party. You know, that's just unsportsmanlike conduct, and he's kind of smirking because he knew. Yeah, I think it was one of those things where
there's a pastor who likes to have fun.
Yeah, for sure.
And our hats off to the great officials too all season too. Take a look one more time. Fielding's right, looking long, and there's 4 guys, 2 receivers, 2 DBs. So it's the ultimate jump ball here.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like that's worth it. You know, if you're a team and you're winning, and it wasn't egregious. It wasn't like over the top. It was like it looks like they were celebrating a guy that made a play on the ball and that normally, didn't get the opportunity to do, and they show some emotion.
And Newberry's going to take a timeout. Well, I've got to tell you what, it's just been a pleasure working on these games, and for me, it's the end of 43 years, and I never know what the future holds. A couple of years ago, I was told basically that I had a death sentence, a terminal illness, and apparently I did.
No.
And so I was blessed in that regard, and I've got to say it's been a blessing working with the crew, obviously, but with you two, you've been such a stellar person, and you're a horrible singer, but you're a pretty great cook too. I've got to tell you that. And do you have anything favorite on Halloween? Is there a song you like, a movie that you like to watch, or does Halloween not mean much to you?
I'm a Halloween guy because I just love, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Those are obviously my favorite. But it's funny that it played right now, and here and now is that Thriller, which I do know the dance from start to finish.
Uh-oh.
I know.
Get that camera up here. Turn it around. I'm not going to be the voice of Vincent Price either. I'm going to tell you that. Here we go. First down play. Fielding's right, looking, and he gets swallowed up right around the 40-yard line. All right, break it up, boys. They've blown the whistle with 1:20 left to go in regulation.
Well, Randy, as you said, man, we joke and we laugh and we have a good time up here, and it's all real. It's nothing fake about this, and you being here and having the ability to come up into this booth with me. And we miss that Mr. Cardozo guy.
Yes, we do.
He's doing some stuff, and Jeff is an amazing person. But when you're up here in this booth with me, man, and you make life so much fun. You make these games so much fun, where I'm having fun and feel like a kid again, man. So I appreciate you and your beautiful wife, who is trucking away down there somewhere. So we definitely appreciate you and all your contributions to this.
Pass is complete along the far side to Ariso. So final question, Florida and Georgia. Your thoughts about the Florida transition and your thoughts about that game?
I mean, Billy Gonzalez, he's got some new blood. He is going to get these guys rolling. Georgia's a good football team. It could go either way, but you know what? I'm never betting against the Gators ever. If we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. We're all still going to be Gators.
And with that being said, down on the field here, this will be the last play of this contest. Fielding's right, trying to turn the corner, and unless they push him out of bounds, no, they don't. He stays in bounds, and we're going to be under 10 seconds left to go. And they'll sort everything out and get ready for the handshake and say that is the end of the regular season. All the activity we had early on, and especially in the second, third quarter, no scoring at all in the fourth quarter. In fact, the Celtics didn't score at all in the second half, and it is a final 40-16 on the board. So now Newberry advances to 5-5, and Trinity Catholic goes to 4-5. And the next thing we wait for is Thursday at noon to find out the pairings to see if it was enough for the Panthers. So what a contest it has been in week number 10, and we saw a little of everything, especially in the second quarter, every kind of scoring except for a field goal. And if you're Newberry, you have to be happy trying to make that statement. If you're Trinity Catholic, good news, bad news. You did not play well tonight, but the good news is you're still in the playoffs. And with that being said, we'll remind you we're coming back for a post-game show. Hannah will be down on the field talking to the victorious head coach and their player of the game as well, too. So stick around for that in our final contest. It's been a joy bringing it to you. This has been the IBEW Local 1205 Friday Night Rivals, presented by Radiant Credit Union, right here on My 11. Welcome back to Newberry High School to stay musical. Not maybe a thriller, but a chance to celebrate good times. As we're ready to go down to the sidelines here in just a second, our treat to you, the lady that did a great job performing all throughout this contest. We're talking about our one and only Hannah Mack.
Welcome to live TV. Yes, that's fun.
Are you live right now?
Newberry High School with a massive win over Trinity Catholic, 40-16. I'm joined now by head coach Ed Johnson. Coach, what does it mean for your team to get a win tonight? And not only did you improve to 5-5, but you also secured a spot in the playoff. How do you keep momentum going heading into the postseason?
Yeah, God is good, man. We've been working hard. We battled adversity all year. It's a tough group. They stay locked in together, and it's good to send the seniors out on the right way.
Whenever we spoke at the half, we talked about the defense. You said you wanted to see more from them in the second half. How's holding Trinity Catholic scoreless in the second half? What did you like from them?
Yeah, we played with more energy and effort. We were assignment locked in. We tackled better, and we got a few turnovers, which is good to help us.
22 seniors on this team. How important is it for these guys to get a win? Final regular season game at home, great crowd, families here. How important is it for all these guys to feel a win like this, experience this, and to take all of this momentum heading into the playoffs as excited as they are?
Yeah, momentum. That'll be the biggest thing. It's always good to go out on your home field the right way. We know we'll be traveling in the playoffs, but hopefully this gives us a little push in the right direction.
All right, thank you, Coach. On behalf of Friday Night Rivals and My 11, we present you with this trophy. Congratulations, guys.
You know, Shannon, we may get old, but that never gets old at the end of the contest, does it?
Yeah, don't hurt Randy. Don't hurt anybody down there. Let's just put it down.
Don't hurt
there.
but that raw emotion, and that's why you play, that's the reason. The team loves you. You love the coach. It's the sportsmanship. It's all those elements involved.
Such a great season, Randy. I appreciate you, and thank you to all of our sponsors for such a great job. One more season under our belts.
Please, at the end of this contest, you'll see a list of the sponsors. Try to patronize them. And if you don't want their product, at least say thank you for your support of our community, because they do that for you. They'd love to hear from you. And our thanks to everybody at the TV station, from Hillary and Darlena and Dina and the entire staff. Thank you so much for everything. But most importantly, we say thanks to you for watching. I'll say it one final time. You've been watching the IBEW Local 1205 Friday Night Rivals, presented by Radiant Credit Union, in one place on My 11. Good night, and we'll see you in the postseason.
Day Night Rivals possible. IBEW Local Union 1205, Radiant Credit Union, and Parks Motor Group. Also, thank you to our great sponsor supporters for their contributions. Pavlov Media, GFL Environmental, UF Health OrthoCare, Sonny's Barbecue, Bounds Heating and Air, Skyfrog Tree Service, Mission Metals Manufacturing, Call a Mattress Superstore, and Tucker Chiropractic. And a special thanks to tonight's participating high schools for their continued support.